There's less and less days where you have an itchy butthole.
Yes, because I take more time now and care. Because I don't like that. In my hasty youth, it would occasionally happen.
I think it's me then.
You got hemorrhoids.
I think, yeah.
you roiding
I
up.
think I do.
You got the
I think I got
hems?
roids, yeah.
You got the hemmers?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yesterday, I left the house, got on my motorcycle to go ride to Malibu and ride a little bit, and on the bike,
right on Mike. That's good.
just uncorking a bottle of whiskey.
Oh, that was a good one. I hope it's clean.
And immediately I was like, do I need to turn around and wipe again? It's like, why?
I'll wipe sometimes in pee-pee times.
Just in case.
Just like to freshen
I had to
up.
be remembered that I had to be reminded that you seat yourself for such.
I don't know why
Yes.
you wouldn't anymore.
Sometimes-
It's a whole thing to like seat myself.
Do you know
I
how
don't
much
need
it's
to.
measurably better?
Look how tall he is.
That's a good
It's a
point.
much longer
That is-
trip.
that's a
Look
good
how
point.
small my toilet is. You've seen my toilet.
That is a tiny toilet.
I know.
No
His
wonder
knees are
I
above his
can,
head.
buddy. I can deep squat. It's great.
Yeah, he doesn't need a squatty potty because that's his natural.
When you shit, do you just basically hover because you
No,
you
I
can't,
sit.
You
I'm
sit?
having a great time. Yeah, you're supposed to be in a squatting position.
So then do that when you go pee-pee.
no,
Take
I don't
a
need
second,
to.
enjoy your life.
No, I
I'm
can
having
feel
a
like
great
that-
time.
Think
that's-
about stuff.
No, that's bounds for the member to get lost and probably like pee all
Lost?
over his legs and stuff.
Lost?
Well, I'm imagining a deep squat when you're
But
shitting.
then it's easier to do a little pee-pee teepee dab when you're before you stand back.
TP dab?
Yeah, take a little teepee dab. the
EBDBC
pee-pee.
and B?
Yeah, or you can just piss all over your
a
shorts
pee
if you
bib.
want.
It's a pee bib.
A pee bib.
A pee-pee teepee
Yeah,
dab.
a pee bib from the league. Yeah, pee bib.
I wouldn't call it a bib
EBDBB
because
and
it
B.
doesn't stay there. It's a pee-pee teepee dab. You take some teepee, you dab your pee-pee, and then you go about your day.
That's true.
So if you're sitting, you're already there. It's much easier to maneuver than when you're standing.
Well, I don't need to dab.
Oh, so you just have piss all over your underwear then?
No.
you just live in your piss.
I
is
mean,
what you're saying.
sometimes, but
all
like,
the time.
I'm pretty good
every
at
time. I guarantee every. No, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's like a
Buddy.
magic trick. It doesn't matter.
Uh-huh.
You can shake. I
You
guarantee.
can dab.
No,
Still,
what are
you're
you
still
talking
gonna get some
No,
come out.
I shake and then dab. We do both.
Why?
It's a shake and
Just
dab.
I think you feel like you only need to do one.
You're gonna
No,
have some.
okay,
too.
you guys all have piss pants.
Hey,
Yeah.
wait till
Piss
you.
pants.
He knows.
Wait till
Yeah.
you turn 46. You're gonna be fucking dribbling all over those boxers.
Next time you do your perfect shake method, I want you
Yeah.
to do me a favor. Pull up your underwear, wash your
Yeah.
hands, then before you leave, pull it back down your pants, and just touch your underwear right where your pee-pee is. Guarantee it's damp.
Here,
There's
I
at
will
least a
spend.
drop.
I will
At
spend the
least one
extra
drop.
time letting it drip dry a little bit because I have had the occasion where then it's seeped through my pants. I'm like, well, that's pee on my pants.
So
I know.
So I'm weird for sitting, but you just stand there with your dick out to
Yeah.
air dry it.
Yeah.
Do you just kind of like sway back and forth? Like
No, I let gravity take over. I'll lean forward if I need to.
I do that.
Oh, okay.
So if I poop, I do like I notice that like so. Of course, you've peed while you're pooping.
Well, no, I mean, I cannot
I feel like that's a thing that's like
poop
required.
and not
Yeah.
pee.
I feel like it's like a biological requirement.
But when I get
yeah.
up to pee, like I have to, I do like an airplane, like I'm flat backed so that my penis points directly down, and then just more pee pee falls out.
Yeah.
He knows what I'm talking about.
I think you have
don't think
kidney
any of us know what
stones.
you're talking about. Yeah.
I think
It sounds like a
hurt.
larger problem.
No,
it's like Benjamin
just more
Franklin.
comes out
It's a
as
much
what?
larger problem.
It drools out like a xenomorph.
What a fucking crazy
By the way-
transition.
Yeah, what a wild, crazy transition. Although I would like to say that it feels very kind of, I don't know, right for our 100th episode to start with that little thing.
Yes, we've learned nothing in 100 episodes.
Episode 100!
100.
Yeah, I'm going to say that was
Never
probably
do that again in my presence.
not planned.
I will eject you from my house. Sorry.
Wow, he's gone.
What? The what?
He made
Episode
the buzzer
100.
You
noise.
didn't like
We can't
the
do
air
it.
horns.
Yeah,
Those
no,
are air
can't
horns.
do the air. Can't do it.
Well, guess what's plugged into this?
Absolutely. Next time we're here.
No, episode 101 does not make it worse.
This
No.
is our air horn era.
This is not our air horn
We
era.
start doing that when it's become very fucking
have I done?
vile.
What have I
and
done? All right. What have I done?
Unnecessary.
But yeah,
I'm Curtis for the 100th time. That's Austin.
I'm 100 Austin.
I'm what have I done, Cody?
and I what the fuck 100 Lucas.
Just need a little little extra celebration for the 100th. And now that I know that bothers you, it will happen a lot.
Happen a lot. Riddled with that shit.
What have I done?
We're the Horror Movie Podcast that discusses the films that freak you out and the friendships that are even freakier.
Yes, and if you've been here a while, you know that we started as a Shudder-based horror podcast. And then we got annoyed doing that. And so now we're just a general horror podcast.
Yeah.
And what a way we've come.
I think we really hit our stride
We
with
have.
cool shit.
I
you
do
know?
too. We even gained a member.
You
Yes.
did. The show started without me.
Yeah.
What a bleak
Truth.
place it was.
It was measurably worse.
Well, there were also, like 3
There were only
without
3,
me?
Yeah,
Three-
but
two
those
or
3 are measurably less interesting.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Your presence is felt always.
I'm good. I'm glad to be here. I'm very happy to be a part of this.
Please don't do the air horns again.
yeah, he's
You're
buttering you
What
up.
is your opinion on the air horns?
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, just like the people who get in my Instagram about the fucking thing that happened yesterday. I just can't. I can't let it be known what bothers me or what I like right now because
true.
I can't feed into it.
It's
I
true.
Let me tell you something. A review podcast is probably the worst place.
Well, I'm all movies are good. The guy. So like, that's true.
Except
you
one
won't
that
know.
we'll talk about later.
Maybe.
Very soon. One that we'll talk about very soon.
Maybe. So what did we decide to
Maybe
do
first.
for our 100th episode, boys?
We
Decided.
two
Cover.
The
Alien franchise.
Okay. Took 2 words. Took 2 words for himself.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'll just go fuck myself.
All 8 Alien films, all 8 officially sanctioned 20th Century
Are there
Fox.
unofficial alien movies?
There is. I was tempted to rewatch the Batman fan film, Batman Dead End. You guys ever watch this shit?
No.
It made a big splash in Comic-Con like 2004, 2003. It was like a very expensive fan film that like when it was made and had a screening, Kevin Smith saw and was like, "This is the best Batman fucking shit I've ever fucking seen."
Yeah.
That was pretty good. Kevin
That's
Smith.
really good. Kevin.
He so the guys, they made it, and it's pretty fun little Batman fan film. And at the very end of it, like Batman versus Joker a little bit, and then Predator shows up.
Oh, wow.
And at the very end, Alien Xenomorph shows up.
I had a Batman versus Alien.
So
comic
people have
growing
done
up
this
that was
before
dope
and the
as
shit
fuck.
works.
Well, there was
I
a
bet,
Batman
yeah.
versus Alien comic when we were kids. It was dope as fuck.
Was
Really?
it Dark Horse?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
saying
Really
to make
sick.
something surprise Predator, surprise Alien.
Yeah.
That shit works.
It's already
Yeah.
Batman.
Yeah, yeah.
Smart.
Also, I wish that. Well, no, we'll get into it. We're gonna move on.
Yeah.
Right.
So there are 8 films that we decided to cover for this. And if you've been with us forever, you know that we usually talk about all the shit that we've been watching up until this. But I think today we figured
We will forego all of that.
we're going to
'cause we have
cover
a lot of movies to talk
We're
about.
going to cover pretty in-depth 8 films. So we're going to forgo that portion. But we can start with, I think, maybe our histories on this franchise.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Maybe where and how we first saw it, kind of how we've grown with it. Safe to say, I think we all enjoy these films, and there's a reason why we decided to make this
Absolutely.
big shebang for our. Clearly, we haven't covered these before.
Yes, we're happy to do this.
Yeah.
This is unlike some other franchises we'll do in the future,
Yeah.
which some of us will be very unhappy about. We're very happy about this one.
Yeah.
I remember my dad showed me the first Alien when I was about 7 years old, which is absolutely too young. But I loved it, and I think it wormed its way into my bones at that time. And I remember I don't really remember this, but shortly after I saw it, we were at Gelson's, and not Nancy Cartwright, but the Cartwright who's an alien. Veronica Cartwright was there, and I went up to her and said that I really liked her in Alien. And she said, "Did it scare you?" And I said, "No." I was about
Stupid bitch.
I was a shitty little 8-year-old.
E. Lord Austin. I think he was 8.
Fuck.
But so that was when I first saw it, the first one. Aliens, I don't remember when I first watched it. Definitely early. And then some of these, this little go around was the first time I've seen one of these movies.
Oh, is that the puppy?
Or did you
Yeah.
fart?
Because I thought it was a fart.
I thought it was a fart too.
It was
because
not-
the way you moved and it's
No, it was the dog. I was gonna pause and be like, I'm gonna go move him upstairs.
Okay, move
Okay.
upstairs.
Off he goes. I love it. I love the Alien franchise. I love the Xenomorph with every fiber of my soul.
I don't think I can remember exactly when I saw these for the first time. I know that I think I was first exposed to them by just walking around video stores. And particularly, I remember being a kid and seeing the Alien Resurrection poster on the walls. And vaguely recall the Alien 3 poster being on the walls. But I don't remember. I don't even know if Alien was the first one I saw. It might have been Resurrection, actually.
That's crazy.
Because I don't like if I saw the first one as a like before I was 11 or 12 years old. I probably rented it and watched it in St. Louis on like a snow day or something. Otherwise, I would have watched it at a cousin's house. I honestly can't remember the first time I saw these. There actually is a world where I didn't see aliens until college.
That's a wild world.
That might actually be a true story, I think. I know that I saw AVP in theaters. But come to think of it, I might have been in college when I saw Aliens for the first time.
Oh, just 2 of these movies I hadn't seen before. And a third one I only saw parts of. But felt like I'd seen it. Anyway.
So thank you to my late great dad. He has Alien on Laserdisc. So that played on loop, I think, at my house forever.
So Aliens?
Alien.
First
one. Yeah. I think
Love that.
every
just
single
hardcore growing up. Now Aliens is just gonna play now. Little Lucas.
It was that in Star Wars, on loop at my house. But that I think I can thank that. What's TNT stand for? TNT for syndication of all these things. I think for most of them is where I caught the rest of these. That's it. I loved it. I mean, as far as I had not seen 2 up until now. You had 2. Which one? Yeah, 2
of them. Correct.
2 of
Two
them.
of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Until now, and I think much like Austin, this is a franchise that is buried deep within me, and I love very much.
You hadn't seen 2 of them. You hadn't seen 2 of them.
Correct.
Okay. I had seen all of them.
2.5.
I think at this point, dozens of times.
Yeah. I don't remember it's much like Jaws. I don't remember the first time I saw Alien. I know it was early. There is a world where I did see Resurrection first, just because of the timing of it. Like I would have been 10 when that hit video stores, and I was like all about it. So I definitely saw that early. I remember being excited about it because it was a thing that was new. So I probably would have seen them all. The first 4 right around the same time in like 98, 99. And yeah, just buried deep in there. And watched them all as they came out since. Love that shit.
Magic films.
Yeah, I feel like these are movies any horror fan it's ubiquitous. That's why none of us can remember, because it's like it just is. It has always been
life without it.
Yeah, it always has been.
And a rare one where like, I mean, as we'll find going through them, I think that there's like a case where, all things considered, pretty good track record of these movies being pretty fucking solid.
Yeah, and the older we get, I think
I agree.
As we just become bigger and bigger film fans, the farther away we get, like the better some of them even become.
Yes.
It's just like they're so fucking good and magical. You're like, they just are richer experiences as you get away from them.
There's one in particular that I did a 360 on.
I know exactly what you're talking
Hell
about.
Yeah.
And that was one of the ones I hadn't seen, so I'm still in the first direction. No, but I agree. There's only one movie that is that I think is bad. I think the rest, I like all of them to varying degrees. Outside of the first 2, everything has a flaw.
Is it just
I don't know why it's doing it. Yeah, it's you. Get that out here.
Idiot!
I think outside of the first 2 movies, they all have flaws to varying degrees. And I think it's just but I literally only think one of them is a bad movie. Well, maybe like one in a lukewarm.
We're going to get there.
We're going to find out.
We're going to find out. Should we walk through how we're going to explore this?
We're going to do this very much like our year-in respews.
Yes.
So for those unfamiliar, what we're going to do is we're going to steal what this podcast Shockwaves did. And
we don't have to say that part.
We've created it ourselves, trademarked it, in fact. So our lawyers will be reaching out to you.
Yeah. Can you just garble what he said?
We will, well, Austin, why don't you explain?
What we're going to do is, this is a very genius idea that we had. We are going to each read our lists. There's 8, so we're going to start from the bottom, 8 to 1. Someone says a movie. If someone else has it higher on their list, we save the conversation until we reach the highest point in someone's list that movie exists. Once we hit a point where it is no longer on anyone's list any higher, we talk about that movie. It'll be very simple when we start this process, and then it'll get more interesting as we go.
Fuck yeah. And for each one, we'll do a shutdown.
Yes, we will. Of course, as we do. So you're going to get 8 motherfucking shutdowns today, boy.
So should we start off with our number 8 film in the Alien franchise?
Should the oldest person here who's 76 years old be the one that you watched the first movie in theaters, right? Or were you?
He worked on it.
I was a projectionist.
Yeah,
I thought you were best boy. Best boy key grip.
My favorite part of this running joke is you were not much older than any of us.
No.
No, of course.
Like a year and a
I
half.
know.
No, yeah,
barely.
yeah, barely older.
It's fantastic.
Barely older. Would you like to go first, Chris?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So number 8 on my list, which admittedly I didn't hate as much as the last time I saw it, is a little film called Alien vs. Predator Requiem.
Yes,
Alien
that is also
AVP Requiem.
that is also number 8 on my list.
That is 8 on my list, and number, I don't know, probably 10 or so in the worst movies ever made on my list.
I'm just kidding. It's number 8.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know.
Dude, the thing is, like, I was like, there could be a wild card in this, but I did see your Letterboxd.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it's rare that when you just go into it knowing you're like, oh yeah, we're all not gonna like this.
Yeah.
Like, there's usually a wild card.
Absolutely.
I
And there will
wanted-
be later.
I wanted to put up a fight on this. Last night, I think I texted you guys and said,
Yeah.
I don't know if I could finish this. I was 28 minutes into the film. There was an
Oh,
hour,
yeah.
an hour.
It's rare
left.
you get something this subjectively unliked.
Well, we're gonna shut this bitch down.
Yes, we will.
I'll
Before
go.
we do that, I just want to say one thing.
Okay.
Yes.
This movie has 13 minutes of credits. 13 minutes of credits.
This is really?
That is insane. to me.
I
had to pat it out.
Yeah, I couldn't know because the second I saw one,
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. Oh,
All right, I'll go second.
First.
oh
It
God.
honestly doesn't.
Well, you gotta pick one.
Third.
Fourth.
All right, AVP Requiem. Shutting it down. 3, 2, what?
In Alien lands in Colorado Springs, and when we get there, we find all these interesting characters living amongst this town. There's high school kids falling in love. There's a sheriff trying to save, and a hunter and his kid who get killed by the alien.
The Predalien from the previous film is wreaking havoc in the woods in tax shelter Canada, and the Yautja comes by to kill it, and the Predalien is infecting pregnant women because it could shove eggs down their throat. There are a bunch of shit-heels.
Yeah, the Predalien can like mouth fuck people into having eggs. So then out of nowhere, 1,000 more xenomorphs show up because who cares about how long they have to gestate? They start wreaking havoc. They start killing. The group of the teens and the sheriff get together, and they got to get to the center of the town to try to escape. So they get.
But there's a disagreement on whether or not they can go to the center of town because one jackweed thinks that it's a great idea and the rest of them are like, no, it's not. We should go elsewhere and get to a fucking helicopter. So they split up. And then they drop a bomb, and the city center explodes, and they kill everything. But some people get away in a helicopter.
Success!
Success.
Can I start with the good on this? There is a good.
Okay. Let's hear
I
it.
think I like how mean this movie is.
I was gonna say
It's very mean.
it's mean
Yeah.
to everybody.
to everybody. And I think there are good ideas, and I think that's what's so annoying to me about it. And I think why I say it's one of the worst movies ever made is because I feel like we'll just put the lighting aside for a second.
I was gonna say I shudder to say I've seen this movie.
Yeah,
I heard this movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's bad.
I knew. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I had heard that this movie is dark, and I knew like it's infamously dark. And then I was like, okay, but then I was watching it, I'm like, this is unreal,
very dark.
unbelievable.
But putting that aside for a second, this is a movie where it's like they were handed a great idea on a silver platter,
Yeah.
right? It's the ending of AVP where it's the Predalien thing, Chestburster, is such a cool idea. You're handed a wonderful thing, and then you make this thing that's just complete dog water. Like it's not even, it doesn't even feel like it's...
What it felt like to me is that this other horror movie script was laying around on a desk. And the studio goes, we want to make another, we've got to do the sequel to this Alien thing.
Interesting.
And so they were like, well, we have this other thing, and that has a monster, but it's bad. And they're like, well, why don't we just replace that monster with AVP? And the AVP part of this movie feels shoehorned in.
100%.
Like this other story was there.
Yes.
And then they were like, just make it AVP, and it'll suddenly elevate this.
Or it could have been like an Alien script, Aliens on Earth, and they were like, we'll just throw a Predator in. Because that was another one of my huge problems is like one Predator comes. There's one.
Yeah, dude.
He figures out that there's this problem, and he's like, I'll go
the funniest
alone.
shit. And it honestly brings up an interesting question, but the fact that everything else around the movie fails so hard, you're like, well, that's a failure too. Is like, it's the first time we probably see the Predator planet.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably their planet.
You're absolutely
We don't
right.
know, but it's probably their planet. But
Yeah,
it's just
very
one
likely.
guy, like, keeping an eye out for like
everything?
all their hunting grounds.
He's the one
And
guy.
he's like, oh, it's me. And you see just the one ship go. You're like, there's no more.
I was like, he wouldn't call anyone. Like in the first
Yeah.
in the first AVP, there were like 3 or 4. Like
Yeah, there were 3.
they're not. You're not going to have a
There's-
couple more show up.
There's 3, although turns to one pretty quick.
Fair, but still, like, I mean, look, logic in this movie, we shouldn't nitpick it too much,
No.
but I just found it hilarious that the Predator would go solo to
How
handle
many
this huge
Predator
problem.
movies had we had up until this?
3, including AVP.
Okay, AVP was.
Wait.
Maybe 4.
No,
No. We've only had
Was
3,
AVP
including
before-
No, because this
Predators?
didn't this reignite the interest in making more Predator movies?
maybe because Predators was 09 and this is 07.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Yeah,
That's one
Or
where
Because
2010.
Predators is
It was
the
09 or
first time they
10.
started changing. Because that's what I noticed between AVP and this was they had stuck with the one design and they all look the same. And I think it's not until Predators where they start kind of changing.
they really
up the
changed
looks.
it up. Yeah, the AVP had some different looks, but Predators was like, we're going to make some really different fucking Predators. But real quick, I do like how mean this movie is.
Yes.
Which is like a different flavor for something like this. It's like it's it kind of has that Dark Horse vibe of like those comics are pretty fucking mean and brutal, and like this when you get down to it, like, and it takes a page out of the Dan O'Bannon book, who created and wrote the first movie. It ends the way Return of the Living Dead ends, and not like a jokey, fun kind of satirical way. It just they blow up this whole town, this whole fucking state,
Right.
So like in the way that the love interest teen girl dies, like brutal.
Oh,
Yeah.
so brutal.
That's the best thing in the movie, I think.
mean
is
as fuck.
that thing
I forgot
throwing
about
down the
that.
hallway and
Yeah.
just
Oh, right.
slicing her
Yeah.
in 3.
Yeah.
You can't see where it comes from, but fucking just the way it dispatches like
Fair. That's a good
Yeah.
a good
like,
point.
It's got a nihilistic stretch, which I don't like per se, but like
But you kind of
it's
have to
different.
in an AVP because it's like humans are just caught
Yeah.
in the middle of this horrible
Yeah.
shit. So it has to be kind of a shit fest.
Well, and to that end, right? Like you're also dealing with things that are like right because this timeline doesn't really exist in the context of the Alien series.
Well, I think
So-
it does, or I think they were trying to because I think that's the only reason. This is one of my least favorite things ever. I think that's the only reason the Predator had his little erase goo and why he was erasing bodies so that there wouldn't be an alien on Earth, however far away from a couple thousand years too early.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but I mean,
That's the only reason
Yeah.
he's doing. Because why is he like
Why is he-
meticulously each body like bye bye goo? Like what? Why would he give a shit? Other
Maybe.
than the writers are saying, oh well, that will create a problem with.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't humans know about the aliens
Yeah.
because they've been here before? Like not if they got erased. Haha.
yeah.
So fucking stupid. He's gonna take his time. Oh god.
yeah, I mean, maybe. What I was getting at is that like
Because
they
then
had
it
to they had to
ends-
figure out ways to like throw crazy shit in the movie to like actually at least keep it remotely interesting, right? Because like you've
Right,
already
right.
done a lot of this shit in the past. So,
Because then it,
two
but then
franchises.
it ends with the here Utani. Here's the gun.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
that was setting up like that's where they get the money to become Wayland Utani to
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
And it's the only hint in the accepted cinematic canon of how Wayland and Yutani came together. It's the only time we have that.
Was that Wayland who
Info.
brought the gun?
no, Wayland
but-
dies in the first one.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
but
yeah,
they're
yeah.
separate entities. It's only Wayland Industries.
Yeah,
before
exactly.
that.
I noticed that too.
Yeah. So the fact that they come to Yutani at the end, it's so silly. But that's the only.
Oh, they were trying.
yes,
to,
Yeah.
yes. It's very stupid.
Yeah,
Oh,
wildly
God.
dumb. And like, let's get to the CW drama happening at the heart of it all. Like
With
So
Rickety
good.
Cricket running a pizza joint.
yes.
fucking like, I just don't understand. Like there are two characters who come back into town. Like they share the same arc. The older brother who's in jail and
Yeah.
the ex-military girl. They both
Yeah.
like come into town as outsiders as the same exact thing. It's just like what
Let's just do it all. Just do all the
Yeah, let's have two of them
can't-
do
all
that.
the small
Have two
town
of 'em.
stories that you could
God.
possibly do.
and the lighting up. Like there's no.
This movie also had
They had one key light in the whole film. It's
Seriously?
probably the sun, but
this movie also. I don't know if you clocked this. This had maybe the most gratuitous ass shot of a movie I've
oh
ever
my
seen.
god, ever they
Oh,
go
at the
back
pool?
to it twice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
When she's putting her pants back, we're just sitting on her ass for so long for
Yeah.
no reason.
I must have, admittedly, last night when I watched this, I detracted to my phone very quickly.
That's
I
totally
missed
fair.
that.
I
don't remember
I
that.
second screened this one a lot too.
'Cause it-
But yeah, it is like we hang there for like 5 solid
Yeah.
seconds, just her getting dressed, and I was like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
guys.
And she loves that pizza kid for reasons.
Yeah, she was
no.
giving it up real quick for the pizza
Yeah.
kid.
She loved the pizza kid. I mean,
I mean,
you
her
know,
boyfriend did suck, but
the boyfriend did classically suck.
yeah, she wanted to. But another thing I do like and we'll talk about this later, swimming xenomorphs. I love swimming xenomorphs.
I do really
kind of rules.
I do really like swimming xenomorphs.
That's a real good.
Yes,
That is good.
We'll get into the best version of that within I don't know, probably hopefully not for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice they use velociraptor sounds for xenomorphs?
Yes, I did,
Yes, dude.
It fucking drove me nuts.
Insane.
Oh, and since we're talking about it, the thing that drove me fucking crazy about the first Alien vs. Predator is the Predators. It was lion roars.
Yeah.
Just lions.
right.
Yeah.
It's like, at least this, to its credit, this one, they were actually like sound designed Predator sounds, and I like the Predator noises. But then they fucked up the Xenomorphs by just using Velociraptors. But the just lion on Predator drove me fucking crazy. And it was like the same one over and over. But yeah, just lazy ass bullshit.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for these directors. I mean, look, they
Colin and David Strauss?
Yes, I think so. Look,
Greg and Colin Strauss, my bad.
Look, they don't make great movies. It just is what it is. But I feel so bad because I feel like their career just got so royally fucked by mostly this movie.
Yeah, and I'm largely unfamiliar with them after.
The effects were good.
Yeah, and
They're effects guys.
They're effects guys.
The
Yeah.
effects were good.
When they happened, they were good.
The facehugger looked good at the beginning. Because I typically, a thing I learned throughout this process is I really dislike the CGI xenomorph.
Yes.
I don't like. I've never seen a version that I liked.
Yeah, it's
I like
tough.
the guy. I like the puppet. But to this movie's credit, I thought all the CG looked pretty good. I thought all the special effects were
Not
pretty
the
good.
worst.
There might be a little piece of information that I'm going to share later that you will be surprised to hear on that note. Then
I don't know.
talk about it later.
I know a lot of
Cool.
stuff. You don't need to be that surprised.
Is that kind of it on AVP
I mean,
Requiem? I mean,
yeah, I don't know how
yes,
much more
we
I
got
need to
7 more of these bad
We
boys.
have a lot of movie to cover.
Quite frankly, I think we gave it probably 5 or 6 minutes more than it deserved.
Yeah, if you've seen it,
This is our niche. We want to be the podcast covering AVPR.
Is this the one that had the music that sounded like it was from Austin Powers? It had it.
I did not
Excuse
clock.
me?
I didn't gather that. I think you fever dreamed that in your 36
One of these
hour.
has
Yeah.
music that sounds like it's ripped from Austin Powers.
Listeners, we should probably
No,
allow
not that one.
we should probably allow Lucas to be able to explain his journey watching these films all in a row,
Yeah.
just in case he makes free
I
comments
finished Alien Covenant about 3 minutes before getting here, and had watched every movie back to back to back to back to back since about noon yesterday.
Yeah, he watched all of these in 24 hours.
Yeah, I haven't slept much.
For reasons only known to him.
that. Would you like to thank Bang Energy?
Sure. We'll call it Bang Energy for the bang up job it did.
SHUDcast approved?
Absolutely
No.
not.
No, waste of time.
It's not even like fun bad. It just sucks.
It could be fun, because like you were saying,
Yeah.
if the movie hated the characters more and they all died
Yeah.
in gruesome ways, like then it's a fun.
There's a movie on here that
Hack 'em
I
up.
think is kind of in the fun bad camp.
Yes.
But even I wouldn't
Agreed.
call it bad, but it's fun.
Jess, our Monsterator, had this movie ranked number 9 on her list. Number 8 is literally every other movie ever made.
Fantastic.
FYI.
I fully agree with that.
Oh, also the title Requiem, too hardcore for this.
And it didn't matter.
No.
Didn't matter.
That was just
nothing.
like in that
Yeah.
stage where Requiem was like a cool word to use.
Right.
For these things, I guess.
But like I think someone on Letterboxd was like, why didn't they just call it Aliens versus Predators?
That's
Like,
great.
yeah, that's way better.
That's great.
Way better.
Well,
That would have been good.
Would have.
Number 7 on our list.
Also, why was he talking to that guy in the military? How was he calling that guy in the military? Like right before the bomb
Oh.
went off, he'd be like, "Yes, there's a helicopter coming."
Yeah.
You're talking to this guy?
Yeah.
What the fuck? I could do that for an hour. It's
We
just-
could do that for an hour.
And we won't.
Maybe pay us more money and you'll get a bonus.
Yeah, we could do a bonus, just Requiem.
Who knows?
You won't.
We'll do live commentary under it.
That could be fun.
That'd be super
Oh,
fun.
that'd be fun.
Do commentaries would be fun to do.
That
We
would be
did that
fun.
90-minute
once.
commentaries.
Yeah. We did that once.
Did we?
Plan 9.
Plan 9.
Yeah, we did
Yeah.
Plan 9 because it was
Yeah.
public
Maybe-
domain.
Maybe we'll do it again. Do you want
Yeah.
that? Tell us on Discord.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're listening and you're not on our Patreon or Discord, you should do that. If you like alien movies and all kinds of other movies, follow us on the Instagram and all the stuff at SHUDcast, and make sure you join our Patreon, where you get access to a Discord where we talk about fun, cool stuff all the time. So do that.
This is
Because
true.
I just realized this is a
Yeah.
full main episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'll plug it again
Get in there.
before we're done.
Our number 7 film.
I need to confirm
I went first last time, so I'll.
Should I just go next?
Yeah,
Should
you
we
should
just
go
go
next.
around?
You should go next.
Should we just go round and round? Do you see my cool alien background I put on? For
Oh,
today?
that is cool.
That's a new still for Romulus.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's like
Yeah.
not a still, but a
Production shot.
We're very excited.
promo art.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna double check, but I'm fairly positive.
Uh-huh.
Yes, number 7 on my list is Alien versus Predator.
That is also number 7 on my list.
That is also number 7 on my list.
That is also number 7
Yes.
on my list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's this moment where because I know what could I have this feeling what it could have been, and I was looking at you like, please don't.
No. I think so. We're going to shut this down and then get into it.
Yes.
I'll go
I'll
third.
go first. I think whoever's
I'll go last.
it's their turn should go first.
Oh, okay, cool.
Just I don't know.
Yeah, go for
Third,
it.
dude. I'm gonna
I
fuck
did
this
third.
up. I'm sorry.
You're
fourth.
second.
I'm fourth.
You're
He's
second.
Okay.
You're after me.
AVP by Paul W. S. Anderson in 3, 2, 1.
So there's this heat thing that goes off in Antarctica, and they got to send this team down to investigate. And Wayland's there, and so it's this thing, the big thing under the ice, and they drill. Well, they don't drill down. The predators drill down because, it turns out to be a predator hunting maze.
And as they're exploring this underground pyramid, the predators show up. Or no, they start getting attacked by aliens. And as they're getting attacked by aliens, then the predators show up, and then they find themselves in a battle between aliens and predators.
Blade's mom is leading this group of explorers, and the predators have used this pyramid for hunting grounds for years and millennia. And the predators soon team up with Blade's mom, who is a worthy hunter on her own, to defeat the queen.
Across all of them, they basically just pick off every single member of the expedition except for Blade's mom and one other person. They get up on top of the ice. The other person falls off. Then the giant fucking queen alien comes up because it ejected herself, and she starts trying to kill everything. And then instead, there's a pred alien at the end that bursts out of the chest. Predator's chest.
Success.
Yeah.
Ish.
Success.
No, that was a failure.
I mean, it was fun.
We got there enough.
Although, admittedly, as I was saying, the part about the no, that is the alien. This is the movie where the alien queen gets off of the.
Yeah.
Yes, that is
yes.
this movie.
the biggest
That is
alien queen that's
giant
ever existed.
alien
Huge.
queen.
It's 30 foot tall.
Giant.
It's way too big.
It's way too
Very
big.
big.
Way too big.
I love the notion that like you can just freeze her and then
Yeah.
thaw her, and she just immediately starts producing.
Just
eggs.
starts popping them out. Yeah. So I would say for me, on this list, from here on, I at least and mostly enjoyed to loved everything from here on out. Requiem is the only one that I straight up hated.
everything.
This one I have a lot of problems with, but there's actually a lot here I really like.
And I too, the last time that I watched this, I was really not hot on this. It was like, this is a waste of my time. I really did not want to watch either this or Requiem for this series.
Yes.
Just because I think that they are a waste of time. Actually, I had a lot of fun this time watching this one.
I really think I really like the general premise of it.
Yeah, it's a
I
good
think
idea.
I think they did a really good job of you
Yeah.
have to get the aliens and the predators and people in one place. How do you do that? I think they did a great job with that. I think like the first 2/3 I enjoyed, and then towards the last act it just gets kind of
Yeah.
falls apart.
Yeah, completely falls apart.
and gets wacky and
But it's cool
silly.
shit.
This is
But
the
it is
second
cool shit.
movie we've covered by Paul W. S. Anderson.
Yes, it is because the other one was
Event Horizon.
Event Horizon. That's right.
hmm And he has story credit on this film, so he has a lot to do with this. Yeah, guys, I think Ridley's got some questions to answer when it comes to him coming back to this franchise and maybe taking a couple beats from this movie for his first attempt coming back to the fold. Thematically, I think this covers a little bit of the same ground. Also, aesthetically.
Oh yeah, kind of.
Thematically and
Not
aesthetically,
really.
it's there. There's some stuff there.
The idea like,
There's
you're
some
talking about like the
stuff
idea
there.
that like the predators for like giving knowledge to ancient civilizations.
There's a lot of knowledge passed down, creationism. There's aesthetically, I think the drilling to going to a different planet. We'll talk about that movie.
Oh, I
later.
think that's a stretch.
Yeah, it's a
I can go with you a little.
I'll
on
go
the
with the
predators.
first-
close.
the first
It's
point
like,
I'll give
it's like
you.
close enough to be like, it's close.
Honestly, dude, I wouldn't be surprised if Ridley Scott ever even watched this movie.
Oh, he probably didn't.
Yeah,
probably did not.
I don't think he owes anybody an apology.
But he also didn't write that film, so it might be a
Oh, true.
Damon
Lindelof
Lindelof
and the other guy.
thing. Anyway,
Oh, that's a good
AVP.
point. I forgot that one wrote that.
Yeah, it's not great by any stretch, but it's more fun than
fun.
it like has any right to be. Like it's a fun
Yeah.
little adventure movie, and because Paul W. S. Anderson's a great, I think, esthetician as a filmmaker. It's a cool fucking action in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, one of the bigger problems I have with it, and it was also a problem for Requiem and kind of some of the other ones, I don't like aliens on Earth. And I know they've been trying to do that literally since Alien 3. They've been trying to get aliens on Earth. That's like what the producers have wanted. And for me, it just doesn't work. It just takes me out of the world.
It's not as interesting.
Well, there's something about like if I'm on the Nostromo, I buy the alien really quick because I'm already in a totally different, separate place. Once I'm on Earth, like seeing the alien, I get removed from it because I'm like, well, that now I see how preposterous this idea is.
It kind of deflates the entire thematic
It's
joy from the original Alien.
Well, because the whole idea of, well, at least with I think the most successful movies, what they do well is you're trapped with it. Mm-hmm. That's the whole problem. But when you're on, I mean, they're on the ice, they kind of are, but I don't know. It's just something about that always has never really jived with me. And they kind of work around that by sticking them in the period most of the time, which I think works. There's just like too much going on all the time. And I think you also, with Alien versus Predator, run into this problem of they kind of both need to be a threat, but then eventually one of them needs to not be.
And I hate that.
I hate that too, because it always, both of them start Predator gonna do Predator stuff and just kill people, but it's really there for the aliens, so inevitably it has to, and also wouldn't the Predators be smart enough to just leave the people alone?
Well, this is why I don't like it, because it's if we're talking about films with if we're talking about film canon for either series, right? Predators, right, or Predator 2 rather, comes to Earth and it kills people.
That's what it's there to do.
Yeah.
Right. Predator comes to Earth and it kills people.
To solve
right?
the gang problem in L.A.
Yeah, really.
Right.
Had to fuck up King Willie.
So it drives me I hate the concept or the notion that they would not just immediately kill this person, Blade's mom, for just for
or
being there.
At the very least, they spare her. Don't do this thing where you're an honorary predator.
Yeah, well, they mark her.
Oh my God,
give
dude.
her the alien head shield.
So dumb.
I don't know. There's also nothing cooler on the Earth than Gauntlet Alien Head. Christ.
So it's funny, dude.
Gauntlet Xenomorph Head.
Maddie and I were
cool.
watching that last night, and she's like, "All right, I get the spear." She goes, "The concept of putting the alien head on her arm is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard of." And I was like, I kind of agree with her, dude. I think it's really stupid.
I think it's stupid, and the thing I can't get past with it, my big problem is there's inevitably going to be some blood on that.
Yes.
You're going to burn your hand.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. There's no way. He didn't clean it that well.
And what I hate even more is that it's okay, it's supposed to be a shield, so it's really strong, but the way that they demonstrate that is by showing that their blood does not damage the head.
Yeah.
Right? It's
but its thing will.
Yeah, right.
That's very explicitly used in another movie.
Right,
they can fuck each other up.
Right, yeah.
So you are saved from a very small percentage of its danger.
And as far as surface area, that fucking head's covering, pretty tiny.
Yeah.
Also gets considered.
It's a good splash image, and that's about it.
It was a good image.
Like
Someone drew it up, and they went, yes.
Yeah.
And I get it, because it does look
I
good.
get why they did it. I think it looks stupid.
I
personally,
agree. I think it's stupid. But at least I had fun with this one.
Yes, it's fun.
It's schlocky. I didn't love it.
Put some smooth in your brain and just watch the movie.
And you can have a good time.
And one of my favorite things in sci-fi franchises like this is Lance Henriksen as maybe, we don't know if he's the founder of Wayland, but as Charles Bishop Wayland, him being the great-great-great-great-grandfather of Alien 3 Bishop.
Yeah.
They just are the same character actor. I love that they're the same actor. They look the same, but it's a generations down the line.
I love that shit. I don't care.
So good. I love that shit.
And I liked his little pen nod.
Yeah.
That was fun.
The fucking pen thing.
Yeah.
So silly.
It's
very, very, very
But
silly.
at least it has fun. It tries to have fun.
And Lance Henriksen's great. So of course we're going to watch him.
And as much as I hated how gigantic the Queen was, the battle at the end is pretty good.
Yeah.
The Queen
rules.
battles. Queen battle's pretty fun.
Although I will say, I think that they it's fun, but it does not feel like it feels like it should be a lot harder.
Yeah.
Yes.
To deal with than it is.
Also, why did the drill sled have the rocket you to the moon speed? Did you catch that?
Yeah,
It just push the button. It's whee! Isn't that 100 feet? Yeah. Why does it do that?
I think it was more than 100 feet.
They don't even cut a thing. They just push the button. It's fuck you! It'd be great if that's how the movie ended. They just get launched into space and die.
Yeah, I love that shit. It's goofy. Paul W.S. Anderson does that goofy shit.
He does
pretty well. It's good. It's pretty good time.
It's a good time.
It fucks with all the lore of all this shit and doesn't need to be there. But we're not screaming about it.
Yes.
Well, no, but I don't when I think about the canon of Alien, I don't even think about these two movies.
Yeah,
they don't even
correct.
cross my mind, right?
Correct.
We can argue your point earlier about they're disappearing the aliens. I'm I don't. You know what I mean? I just
I
think I
think-
eject them from the.
I do too. I think they were just trying to build in.
Figure out
which
what
is
they could.
why I think also in this one they had that thing of like, but if the Predators lose, they blow everything up.
Yeah.
To like,
Yeah.
because they're trying. But I agree.
Yeah.
In my head, these are not.
Well, and then like
aliens.
Lindelof and Scott come in and be like, "Oh, that's dumb," and they basically
Well,
just ignore it for the
yes.
other
As we're
movies.
about to do, that happens a few times in this franchise. In just the Alien movies,
Yes.
the
Yes.
continuity gets blasted out the fucking ejector door.
Well,
Is it?
sort
I think
of.
for some of the lore it does. We'll talk about it.
Oh,
as
the
we get
lore.
to
Yeah,
it.
they get
Yeah.
my biggest problem, and this one does it. Every movie except the first one does it. We go from face hugger to full 8-foot tall alien in about an hour.
Yeah.
And it's like, Jesus, guys. Like, give it some breath. I know you want to get to it, but like, plant these seeds earlier. It drives me nuts. Like,
That's an inherent problem with franchise filmmaking like this. Is like what just worked because it worked in the first one that wasn't given like a whole mythology thought on. It worked because structurally that's how that movie
exactly.
operates. Then you have, as you keep making more, you have to like justify or like
Which Aliens
pick.
handled perfectly
yeah.
by not dealing with that.
Yes.
But everyone after that wanted a chest burster scene. And so if you're going to get a chest burster scene, you got to have them fucking
That's like an inherent rule of sci-fi too, right? It's like you have to have rules. You have to have hard and fast rules that you abide by. Because fantasy, you get to do whatever you want. We're in sci-fi world now.
Right.
You have to have a rule about how these things grow.
Well, but
And
I
you
think
have to stick to it.
But I think they deal with that pretty easily in this franchise by like having the aliens not even be the same in every movie.
Yeah.
They're all different. They're different in every single movie. The alien is slightly
Oh,
different.
just because it's like a new generation of like
so
hybrid.
so like
thing.
to the point about like the chest burster being like the incubation period and the time between it, gestating to the next stage, right?
Yeah.
To me, I just chalk that up to evolution.
Oh, I just chalk it up to producers want an alien faster.
Well, yes, yes, that. But like, if we're talking about like continuity or the way things work,
Yeah.
I think of it that way. Anyway, we're believers.
I think that scene of the aliens crawling up the pyramid and the three predators fighting
cool.
them off is like an iconic image.
Very cool.
in my
Very
head.
cool.
Very cool.
Super, super
Very
fucking
cool.
cool.
It's too many aliens, though. There's like 50,000. So they decimated
that's why they-
all,
yeah, that's
all
why they
people
blew
on
it all
Earth.
up, yeah.
But each one has to come from a person. They were like, at that time, there weren't that many people on the planet to have one per alien.
Yeah, probably because I think this is before humans.
Well, yeah, I think they had pyramids. So let's say it's like Maya.
Well, I think
Aztec.
the idea is the predators built the pyramids.
yeah.
Oh, the predators
Yeah,
built it?
that's
Oh,
what-
I thought they taught them how to build
For
it.
They
that
did.
reason of
Yeah.
like fighting them.
Oh, I like that less.
They're the ancient aliens.
Yes, no, I gathered that.
Yeah, yeah.
My thinking was they taught the Mayans how to build the pyramids.
I think they
did.
also did that.
Okay, we're on the same.
Because
It
when they
doesn't
came
matter.
back, they asked for
It
something.
doesn't fucking matter. We're thinking about it way more than they did.
I know. Also took from Jet Li's The One, so that's
haven't seen
the
that,
thing.
so,
The end of that movie. Anyway, AVP Alien vs Predator SHUDcast approved.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I'd say from here on, I approve everything.
It's a fun, smooth. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a fun, smooth time.
yeah.
Yeah, love that. How about that?
All right, you're up now with 6. Now,
Number
now,
6,
Now
baby.
is when we
Now
start
we're-
to
now
diverge.
we're in the
meat.
shit.
We're
Now
in
we
the
start to
fucking
diverge.
girth in this bad boy.
Previously number 3 on my list.
What?
Now number 6,
What?
Prometheus.
Oh wow, I have that higher.
Higher.
That is number 6 on my list too.
Oh.
Yes!
Now I will say something. Well, when we
It's so funny.
we'll get
So
there
funny.
eventually, but I will just say now that like from mostly here on out, besides 2 of the movies, all of them are 4 stars in my book.
Wild.
Yeah.
From here on out, for me, there are 4 stars until we get to Alien and Aliens.
I think I definitely like Prometheus a little less than you, but I think it's great that we've come to the same ranking slot for this film.
Yeah, Prometheus is down for reasons, but we'll
We will get to
we'll get to it.
Prometheus.
Yeah,
no.
So what's your number 6?
My number 6 is Alien 3.
Oh, higher.
higher.
Yeah, higher.
All right, so now it's you're Prometheus. So now it's my number 6, which I know
Yes.
is going to be higher, obviously. My number 6 is Alien Resurrection.
Higher.
Higher.
This has never happened.
This is going to
has
be
never
fucking
happened.
What do you mean never happened?
where we all
have something different in a slot.
Well, we'll go to 5. 5 will make it easy. We'll
okay.
get to
Because we've all
maybe
said
this
our
has
6.
happened.
Okay,
so
yeah.
we've exhausted 6. All right.
Um,
So who are we at now?
Because again, we
We're
talk
back to
about it
me.
when we get to the highest
Yeah.
rank of the thing.
Yeah. So what's your 5?
yeah.
My 5.
It's your. It's
Back
your
to me
5?
again,
It's
yeah.
Cody's 5.
My 5 is Alien 3. Also
Higher.
reverted down from 4.
Higher.
So great. I love this so much. My 5 is Alien Covenant.
Higher.
Higher.
My 5 is Alien Covenant.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. We got
My 5 is Prometheus. What have you done? Why is your Prometheus so high? So, okay.
Wait, what are we talking
Actually,
about?
you know what? I might have fucked that up.
What'd you do?
What'd you
I
do?
think I do want to switch Covenant and Prometheus. I think I did put that down wrong.
Okay, so Prometheus
So-
is
so-
your 5?
All right, hold
no,
on.
Prometheus would be my 6.
6, yeah.
Hold on,
Prometheus
let's
is
go-
my 6, so we got to go back to 6.
No, wait, hold on. 8, 7,
Prometheus
6.
is
No,
not your
Prometheus
6?
would be my 5.
No, no, you're right. It's my 5.
Prometheus is now my 5.
This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
turning into anarchy.
I did do that wrong.
All right, so it's Prometheus. too.
Cody and I had Prometheus at 6. Austin and Lucas had Prometheus at 5.
Yep.
That means we're talking about Prometheus right now.
Prometheus.
Okay.
This one went down a peg.
It did for me
On
too. I
this-
mean, I've
on
talked
this-
about this a little more recently
on
because I
this
had
viewing.
revisited.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'll be going first.
Yes.
You'll be going first?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's his
Oh, okay.
pick. Although it got
Okay, I'll
crazy,
go
but yeah.
second. I'll go,
Anarchy.
dude. Again, I'm not going to remember anything. I'm telling you right now. This was like
Lucas-
the late. This is the late one.
Lucas,
last
you
night.
gave this 5 stars on your letterbox.
I did.
and
Yes,
said
mean it.
and said perfection.
And it's 5 on your list?
I did. I think I fever dreamed. I fever dreamed most of it, and I loved
That's
it.
why I was so interested to see what this was going to be like.
Hold on. So
It's number 5 on your list?
and
Yeah.
you give it 5 stars?
Just because I think the Michael Fassbender. I just wanted
Hey,
the
all
Michael
right.
Fassbender thing.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I'm first.
Cody's first. Second.
Do you want caboose? I'll go easy on you because this was hard. Does
Yeah.
it not matter? You want caboose?
No, I want
You want 3?
3.
Okay, I'm going to get fucked on this caboose.
All right. Prometheus from 2012. Sir Ridley Scott, come back to the fold in 3, 2, what?
A tall humanoid gets off the ship and drinks a thing and then disintegrates into the water. Fast forward, or maybe not, and we have some scientists that are on an expedition, and they identify that there's a large number of early paintings by various humans that point.
So Charlize Theron heads a group to go and find these paintings, headed up by a scientist couple and a couple of other weirdos on the thing, and they go to where the engineers have this whole scientific exploration.
One of the guys gets killed with stuff on his face. And then he comes back all mutated and comes back to kill the crew. And then someone starts speaking in Indonesian.
Okay, so they were on like a military base and they find this goo and it fucks everything up. And yeah, they all get fucked up and they start killing and there's a baby abortion and everything. And they find out that the engineers were making this mass weapon. And so then they're like, well, fuck them. We got to figure out where they are. And David's bad, but then they fly off to find the engineers. You fucking bitch.
What? That was the best thing you've ever done in your whole life.
He's like,
Way to clutch up.
Will
Way to
Ferrell
clutch
in
up.
Old School doing the debate.
Damn, dude. Blacks out. Damn.
Thank you,
we
thank you.
did somehow miss the Guy Pearce of it all, which is very important to this story.
It is.
Okay, I remember why I gave it 5 stars and I didn't watch it. I had seen it before and remembered liking it.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
No. I have seen this before and remember loving it. So I was like, let me go off I'm going off of my previous sentiment. I will say, as I was watching it this time, what I could grasp of it, I was like, this is same sentiment, not hitting the way it did before.
Same. I own this on Blu-ray because I really loved it when it came out. And in my head was like, it's fantastic. It's a wonderful movie. And then watching it this time, I was like, oh, this isn't... Like, I'm seeing the holes. I still enjoy this movie. Shut up.
Yeah,
Don't gloat. I knew you'd gloat.
And I
Don't
haven't
gloat.
gotten into my fucking speech yet.
I know.
I see. I like this movie. I really like kind of what they're doing. I like the seeds of it. But I think it's fucking stunningly gorgeous to look
Yes.
at. I love just watching this. It's so pretty.
Did you guys see this in theaters?
Yes.
Did you see it in 3D?
I saw this movie.
No.
I saw
think
this
so.
movie 5 times in theaters.
Okay.
That's wild.
I saw.
I am obsessed with this movie.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I can't wait to hear.
I'm
it.
obsessed with this movie.
But this was one of the better. I saw it in 3D IMAX when it
Yeah?
came out. One of the best 3D IMAX experiences.
It's
like when David
gorgeous.
has that map.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
fucking-
yeah.
It's
It's
really
gorgeous.
great.
It's I have a 3D Blu-ray upstairs.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Do you have a 3D player?
No. Actually, yes.
Do you have a 3D TV?
No.
Question.
Yeah.
When this movie came out, I seem to remember that people didn't know that this was an alien movie when this came out. Is that true?
I think it's.
I don't.
Am I remembering that
Some
correctly?
might have not.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's kind of not.
it's kind of not. I would almost
Yeah.
argue it's not.
And I think at that note, I think one of the reasons that I'm so obsessed with this is that it is distinctly different than any of the other Alien movies in every way. And I think like the thing that it focuses on is that rather than having the thing that you expect or maybe want from an Alien movie, you have this like very, very, very deep, intricate thought piece that's dealing to me with like weaving very, very, very complex themes into a rather complex, like not like complete narrative to make the audience think about what it means to be human, what it means to be created, what good and evil are, what punishment is as a result of good or evil, right? And I think the way that they do that is really fascinating, and this movie has just been an endless rewatch for me, where every time that I watch it, I'll sit there and just goo over.
Of course you do. Black goo.
Black goo, yeah.
Yeah, black goo
And
over just the way
that
that the way that the paths that it will send me on,
Where
and trying
I-
to just understand and analyze all the themes.
Where I disagree slightly with that is I think it's a mile wide and an inch deep. I don't think it's necessarily deep on any of its themes, but it brings a shit ton of stuff in. And I think Ridley's uninterested in making an Alien movie at this point.
That's what bothered me on this watch. The Lindelof of it bothered me. It didn't when it came out, because I was with more in your camp of like, I like just like
there's a lot going on,
bringing up all these themes. I like that, but then on this watch, I was like, but you're not landing anywhere. And it's kind of cheap to just like, it's that JJ thing of like, I'm going to lob this big ball in the air and I do not have to catch it. And someone else has to catch it. No, you didn't like it? Well, I just asked. He fucked it up.
What's your interpretation? Yes.
What do you mean by an inch deep?
Well, I don't think it explores. I mean, like, let's talk about creation, legacy, like that like Wayland thing or the Guy Pearce thing, right? Like, let's talk about that. Right. But I don't think it
like
necessarily gets to the heart of what that theme really wants to be, when you've also got, you're trying to be a slasher movie, you're trying to be tie itself back into the alien of it all, you're trying to have like this the woman's body stuff is very interesting in this, but like you're just, I think there's more to mine there. Like I think it's all interesting, but I think there's more to mine in each of it. And I think like you treating the Guy Pearce stuff and the Charlize stuff, like not giving her even enough room to kind of deal with the Guy Pearce of it all. Like it just touches on these things where I think we're just not, and we're spending time, being a horror movie, like we got to spend time killing off the idiot scientists, to like,
boy, this and Covenant is really just like touching things, the movies.
Yeah.
But just like,
well,
like,
yeah. Well, to your point, like I don't think you're wrong.
Sure.
But I actually don't think that hurts it to me. For like, I think it hurts it to this in the sense that it's not a perfect film, but I think that what it does, what it accomplishes in touching on all those themes, to me, it doesn't really feel like it needs to do more. Like it doesn't need to say more than it does.
It's just like a weird point of like, I think the Lindelof thing is like, it touches on it then too much. Like it just like gives you a little too much to not just like objectively give you all this stuff and then play a horror movie on top of it. It like wants you to do, like it wants you to have the David of it all. Like it wants you, like his doing the Lawrence of Arabia, learning what humans are. It's like, it's all cool. I love it.
Yeah.
It just like,
I think what it does is is that it's like, because it all just has like, to me, it's like there's the core idea of like what it means to be human, right? Like I think that like that is the root of this movie. The problem is that like it doesn't really have like a linear focus on that with one through line. It's all of these little things, almost like little vignettes that are happening around that theme and touching on it, right? Just kind of like dipping their toes into each one, but never really coming into like a final realization that like would say anything that like is glaringly deeper than or mind blowing to like give the audience.
Right. And I think that just comes down to, because I think when I was younger, I kind of liked that Lost, JJ, like I didn't mind and actually enjoyed that like mystery box bullshit. And I think just as I've gotten older, I don't like that anymore, and I want a more complete idea.
Sure, yeah.
And like this movie on this watch for me, it felt so incomplete, and it's a shame that he never really got to finish his ideas through Covenant, and then it needed a third one, really. And Covenant should not have. We'll get to it, but it shouldn't have been an Alien movie, really. But like, because I do want to see where Shaw goes. I do want to see, like when this ended, I was very excited to start Covenant because I was like, oh, I want to continue this. I want to like flesh it out. But when I removed the sequel, and it's just looking at it as a standalone thing. To me, it just feels way too incomplete. It's way too much of a setup for a bigger thing that we don't get. So I have to just kind of go off what I'm given, and it's like I don't like that anymore. I want to get a full thing.
I am just going to parrot everything Cody said.
Yeah.
Also because Damon Lindelof works out at Orange Theory. So
So it's
He's
moved,
like
trying
us.
to be homies.
it's moved up to number one.
I think that moving aside from like the thematic depth, because I again, like I'm obsessed with this movie for many reasons, and I think that like it feels very like literary and poetic, and I'm just completely absorbed by it every time I watch it. This time around, I noticed a couple of things that I think really fuck this movie up for me, as far as it being an alien movie. The first is there are way too many characters that don't really have shit to do in the movie, that you don't care about any of them.
You need
One of the things
cannon
that's so
fodder.
great about but one of the things that's so great about the Alien franchise is that you care about the characters, right?
Yeah.
They do such a good job throughout the series. I'd never clocked that until this time around. It's like, man, these characters are so just like base, and you don't really get time to like give a shit about them because it's too lost trying to touch on its themes.
And like, why is that guy so angry?
So angry.
Oh my God.
And then the
Out
other
the gate, the maddest rock guy ever. He's a
Oh, so
geologist.
yeah,
and
right.
he's furious.
Yeah.
Like,
Too
why
many-
are you
so mad.
mad?
Too many
That's what he
steroids.
should have
Yeah.
said when he introduced himself. He's like, "Oh, you don't fucking talk to me." She's like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't.
what are
fucking-
you so mad
But
about?"
again, right? Like you don't even explore why. It's just kind
Exactly.
of it's just there.
Yeah.
'Cause
He's
the
just the
movie's
asshole.
too
For
busy
a cast
catching on
that
its
is
fucking
stacked
themes.
as this
Right.
is, though, too. You have
cast is
guys.
crazy.
Patrick Wilson's in this movie.
I know.
It's just weird
Yeah,
shit.
fucking
Fucking Idris Elba.
That and like,
Yeah.
and I.
He's probably
fucking-
30% of why I love this movie.
Of course,
He's so
and the
good.
best chemistry of any characters in the movie are Idris Elba and Charlize Theron, and they
Yeah.
have that great like, okay, let's go fuck
That's
bit.
great,
You're
yeah.
like, you're just like, I want that movie. You
Yeah.
know, I
Yeah.
want them. I want
Yeah.
Idris to be the guy on the ground, and she to be the corporate honcho, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love Logan Marshall Green, and like Noomi Rapace is like pretty good actor, but like
Yeah.
I just don't buy them.
I think
Right,
this
right.
movie's made 5 years later. You do get that. I think
Probably.
they do
Probably.
cast it that way.
probably.
I think that besides those two sins, I think the other third sin is that all of the other Alien movies thus far are pretty low tech,
Sure.
and this is very high tech.
I was going to bring
Yeah.
that up.
I don't care. Like, I'll deal with the continuity issue. Fuck
Yeah,
it, whatever.
yeah.
But like, it hit me today. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, one of the reasons that the other Alien movies are so cool is because it feels very like,
Space junk.
yeah, and like
Yeah,
something that's like
yeah.
this is attainable. Like,
It's grimy.
now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it doesn't like
Right.
looking at this. It's like this feels like
It feels familiar, yeah.
it does. This feels so wildly unfamiliar.
No,
at
I was
this
saying
rate.
the alien feels familiar.
Yes, exactly,
And
yeah.
like industrial.
Right.
And this is so slick. And that really bothered me about this movie and Covenant is how slick. Because first of all, like the continuity of it totally fucks it. Like, why is the older ship so slick
Yes,
and the newest?
right.
But also, this movie does a thing that I've griped about before, and I will gripe about again. This Prometheus, in theory, takes place in, if we're healthy, maybe our lifetime.
Yes.
we were
leave-
probably
right.
just dying before this.
Like,
yeah.
so you're saying in my lifetime, we're going to go from where we are right now to that ship? Get fucked. Like,
Well,
Ask Lucas.
yes.
but like, well, stop making, just add a 3. It's the year 3090. Great. Got it. I'm in. Like, don't make it so close. It drives me fucking crazy.
I don't.
What are these
Sorry,
space
Tom.
movies if not omnidirectional seafaring stories?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, true.
omnidirectional.
Yeah. He's right.
You're totally right. Put that on a shirt sticker.
And like, you know, the boats that we're on now are kind of the rickety Jaws boats, and those are relatable boats. Even though only one of us here wants to be a pirate, I think that kind of boat is like the relatable one.
Love that he didn't ask us. He's like, I'm the only one who wants to be a pirate. Like, go ahead.
You would be right, I think.
And yeah, like the boats that we're looking at, they're like Princess cruise liners. You know, they're Tesla Cybertrucks, and it's like, no, we don't want that.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a small gripe, but it is a gripe. It's so it looks just so clean. It's like, but however, I also think the movie looks beautiful. So
It looks
It does.
fucking gorgeous.
My
gorgeous.
elemental gripe with this film is I don't give a shit who the space jockey is. I don't want to know.
Dude, that's
and
my
I
problem
do.
too. No, that's
Like,
my
that's the-
problem too.
that
It
mystery
kind of
is great.
It kind of fucks that scene in Alien. Like,
Yeah.
that's my like. I love that. First of all, the fact that it's cool, weird elephant face is now a mask. Fuck you. Fuck you. I love that it was a weird alien elephant face, but fine, it's a mask.
Sure.
But I don't need to know how that thing got there. I don't need to know. It's just it had an alien. Shit went bad. There's a bunch of eggs. The ship crash landed on this place for no reason. Here we are.
I'm the exact opposite. I'm the exact opposite.
You want to see the movie where the space jockey's doing whatever it does.
No. I want. This is the extent that I want to know. Maybe or whatever he was going to do in 3. Like, in other words, they were just feeding me enough context as a prequel that I liked it. I actually am not like I don't hate prequels as much as I think other people at this table do.
Yeah, I don't hate them.
I think for the most part, I'd actually like. I'm fine with prequels as long as it's
They're
feels like
harder
it matters.
to do
They're harder to do,
is
and when they're done well, I think they're done. I think it's awesome. When this was coming out, I remember sitting in my room in college and like looking at every like I would look at stills from the trailers and then try to like and then I'd put on Alien and I'd sit there and try to like identify things and come up with my own theories. I was obsessed.
Yeah.
And then when this came out, because like they really did not, again, it's so open-ended as to what everything actually was, right? So then I'd sit there and again like just go on deep dives like what it's this, what if it's that? Completely obsessed. Me and Quentin would just call each other and be like, you think it's this, dude? Yeah, I think it's that.
And this seeds something that I think is either just purposely not addressed or is directly in contention with what happens in this next film. Has that xenomorph mural in this movie?
Yes.
Which
could
is
be
the coolest shit ever.
It's endlessly fascinating.
But why is it there?
But that's the shit. That's why I think it's endlessly fascinating because it's like all of these open questions.
It's true, but I think the next movie refutes that idea.
It absolutely 100%.
I don't think it does.
No, it 100% does. Because the idea is that there was no, like, I mean, we'll probably talk about Covenant soon, but like, the idea in Covenant means that no engineer has ever seen a xenomorph. Because feasibly, what we're seeing when it crosses with a human is the first ever xenomorph.
Maybe,
and all the engineers are dead. So how did they paint a mural of something they would have never? Unless that was. I mean,
the problem is we're
doing a lot of work.
This is the problem with it.
Yes, I would say
I agree.
I would say the opposite though, because if they had all of this material that they were going to go and use as a weapon on other planets, or particularly on humans on Earth, right? Yeah. Who's to say that that what we're watching is just David playing God with that same concept, and the engineers didn't also do that anyway on Earth or with another human?
It's true, but I think that's a missed opportunity.
I think it's a missed opportunity, but in other words, what I'm saying is I don't think it fucks with the continuity. I think the continuity is still potentially there.
I think I have to do a lot of work to make it work. And in my opinion, that's a failure.
That's fair.
I think it was a really cool. I agree with you. I think it was put in Prometheus as this looks fucking cool, and just to tease your Alien fans. And then I think Covenant is the one that fucked with that, but it's a small detail, so like that no one cared. But I'm with you. I'm like, but
how does this? Yeah.
How do we? And that's kind of going back to my big problem on this watch was like the Lindelof-ness, those open questions. I'm just as I get older, I'm like allergic to that shit now.
And I love them.
It just feels lazy to me.
I love.
It's so easy to ask questions.
Well, I love them in
hard.
I love them in like the context of this. I did not love them in the context of Lost.
A good show,
right?
We're not here to talk about Lost.
It is a good show.
This one seemed to be a return to more of a straightforward horror movie. Also, for me, it seems everything was a little more horrific and scary.
Yeah,
this time around, I think with like 3 in Resurrection, and then you have the they get to more sci-fi adventure.
Yeah,
I disagree on 3.
Maybe not 3.
I would also disagree on 3,
but. There's a departure away from where it's like you're arguing if these are ever horror movies anymore, but Prometheus comes back too. Now we're back into definitely horror movie territory.
I see what you mean when it comes to Resurrection.
Yeah,
Resurrection.
Sure.
I think
Because Resurrection, it's the Whedon of it all.
That's got a
goofy, wacky ass movie. Oh yeah, the Whedon,
the piece of shit of it all.
Yes, yes.
Who just happens to be an outstanding writer.
I mean, we haven't even said it yet. Michael Fassbender.
Oh,
phenomenal.
Is introduced as David.
Yes.
Which we will talk about more in a different film.
Yes.
And can touch on here some. It's like, what a phenomenal performance.
Fantastic.
Magic.
What a fucking amazing
especially in the next
performance.
one. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Great.
And I've gotten so much of him doing all this X-Men movie watching.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just fucking love Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, no, I love his character. I love that character. Especially, I mean, we should probably move on to the next one. It's probably next.
Jess, our monstrator, had Prometheus at number 7.
Oh,
She had AVP at number 5, by the way. So
Jess. She's such a little wild card.
She's a wild card.
She's a wacky.
I think our
little
also
goober.
problem with this is it felt a little boring. It's a long movie, so I felt a little bored during stretches of Prometheus this time.
And I fault no one for feeling that way, despite I feel the opposite. But
Sure.
Yeah, imagine my feeling when I'm trying to do all these in 24 hours in like just more over 2 hour
Who
movies.
chose to do that?
yeah, that's a you issue, buddy.
Make them shorter so I can watch all of them in short amounts of time.
What? Take a month. You had over a month.
we had like 2 months to do
We
this,
picked
dude.
this
Pretty good amount
day
of
a
time.
month ago.
No, in fact, no, because we picked it, and I had decided that I was going to watch one a week for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
That was 2 months.
So we had
Yeah.
two,
we had this like 2 and
you
a
had
half
2
months.
months. I feel no
You
sympathy.
know, it was just one of those things where I just keep thinking that this date is like that far away, and then it's
Yeah.
just suddenly not. I'm like,
I
shit.
did that, but I realized it 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh, fuck, I gotta start watching these movies.
SHUDcast approved?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
You
We
gotta
have
see
to-
it once.
We have to indoctrinate each of them officially. We have to have our votes.
Yeah,
accounted
of course.
for. Yeah.
Yes. Approved.
Although I think at this point going forward, it's probably pretty safe.
We have to say it.
okay.
We will, but they're all approved.
Yeah, they're all approved. All right, Lucas, I believe it is your turn to state your number 5.
I think it's what we all.
Oh, that's
think
right.
It is.
You said it was Prometheus. That's what we
Yes,
just did.
that's
this.
what we got.
So it's
No,
Prometheus.
no.
Yes.
It's 8,
No.
7, 6, 5.
Yours
yes.
is Prometheus.
Yeah.
Yes.
My number 5 is Alien Covenant.
Higher.
Higher.
Fuck yeah. This is great. This is somehow working out
I guess
great
higher,
for me.
I guess higher. Yeah, higher.
Wow. My number 5 is Alien 3.
Higher.
Okay. So
Wait,
Now we go
I
to
didn't say
4.
my number 5.
Oh,
What did you
sorry.
say to
Number
me?
5.
My
Oh, I'm
number
sorry.
5 is Alien Covenant.
Okay.
great.
So we're going to number 4s now.
Which is Alien Covenant for me.
So we have 3 Alien Covenants on the board. Lucas,
Yes.
what's your number 4?
Alien the Covenant.
Alien Covenant!
Alien in the Covenant.
Alien the Covenant.
Okay.
There we are.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah.
Now,
All right.
okay, I figured this
Good.
would be next.
All right. So I think it's
we have to shut it down first.
whose turn is it to? I think it's you.
Let's
right?
call it him. I think you were first last time.
No, I
Yes.
was.
It's not.
Oh, I was first. That's right. It's Lucas.
We're gonna call
Okay.
you. You get to go
That's
first,
what's
buddy.
happening.
Okay.
I'll go 4th.
Third.
Second.
All right, Alien Covenant, the next Ridley Scott film in this joint, 2017. And 3, 2, what?
Okay, there's a ship with a new crew on it, and they're all asleep. And then they have to recharge the ship with Michael Fassbender, and they raise the sails, and then they run into a solar flare, and it fucks up the ship and wakes everyone up too early. And then they all start freaking out, and then
The ship's trying to deliver a bunch of passengers to colonists. It lands on it. It finds the nearest planet that has any habitat that they could live on. They land there. They start walking around. Weird shit happens, particularly that like 2 of them get gas in their faces and they start fucking dying. They find a temple, or they
So yeah, they're getting attacked by neomorphs because they keep touching spores and getting shit in their nose, and it busts out of them. And then this guy saves them, and look, it's David, and he's in a temple, and he's got his weird little bugs and toys and stuff. And he's been there for a few years because Shaw died in the crash. But
And he's modified to the genetic perfect form. He's created the xenomorph, and the xenomorph is now out and about and kills everybody, including almost his doppelganger Walter. But he takes the form of Walter, David does. They get on the ship, and they leave the planet, and they're asleep again.
and he's got embryos with him.
He's got embryos with him.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah,
and they think it's
Walter.
Walter,
Yes. Yeah.
but it's
Yes.
actually David.
It's
Yes.
actually
Yes.
David
Yeah.
snuck back on with.
Yeah.
So this moved up a spot for me on this watch.
big
At-
time for
at-
me too.
At the time, it was below Prometheus. I thought I didn't like this movie.
This was number 6 on mine for a while.
Yeah, I would have put it there too. And then on this watch, I was like, man, it's got its warts, but fuck.
It rips.
It rips.
When it rips, it rips.
Fucking rips.
the David of it all.
That
Yeah.
arguably like my second favorite thing in all of the series is the David of it all.
Just David
It's
there,
just
like
so
tinkering
good.
with his weird little.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Fucking-
I fucking love that. dude.
Fucking cool. I
And-
mean, they did poor Numi so dirty.
They did her
Because that's a problem.
And she came back to do a bit for this.
I
which
know.
is the-
So my retroactive problem with Prometheus was like how bad it fucked the end of Prometheus. Like it ends on such a we're going to stay with Shaw and go find the engineer planet, and they're like, nah, she's dead. It's like,
yeah.
all right, well then that
Yeah.
was all kind. It made Prometheus the ending feel more deflated. Like, okay, well none of that fucking mattered. But we're not here to talk about Prometheus because we already have. But yeah, I don't know why I didn't think I liked this movie. I mean, it's got its problems, and like especially I think the marketing of it fucked it so bad because it was like it's called Alien Covenant. The xenomorph was in every fucking trailer. It was probably it was on the fucking poster.
Yeah.
And like very little xenomorph, which
Like
isn't a
last 20
problem with the
minutes,
movie. But I think when I was expecting more xenomorph, I was very let down. But man, the David of this whole thing, just cool.
I even like it's this. It takes something very particular from Alien, which is the purpose of the ship that's out there in the first place. Like in Alien, they're space truckers. In this one, it's like a religious colony who are going to find another home. Like they're all religious kind of zealots in a way. But I like that, they each are coupled together and it's just, there's like a point to them being out there and then an alien movie happens to them.
Right.
Which I think is very interesting.
Totally.
And it does have it does feel like, because Ridley, I don't think, wanted to make an alien movie with Prometheus, and then that movie made some money, but not enough, and 20th is like, make an alien movie this time. So he's like, okay.
You have to have an alien now.
Well, because this was I think this was completely different from the first Right.
I believe it.
If I remember correctly. Like, in other words, the original idea for Covenant is not at all what ended up being the thing was on screen, because 20th Century Fox was like, you can't.
Yeah.
You have to give us.
And then Ridley wanted to make 4 more movies like this, and that didn't happen.
My guess, this felt like whatever he had planned for like 2 and 3 got mooshed into 1.
Yeah.
And they're like, because it felt very much like we should have gotten to Xenomorph in the 3rd movie.
Yeah.
But they were like, nope, got to have it in this one. Yeah. And that's honestly, weirdly, some of my least favorite part of this movie is the Xenomorph stuff. Don't like a CGI Xenomorph.
We just don't.
I just don't like it. It has no weight. I don't
Yeah.
like it. I understand it has to run around, but it has no weight to it. And I don't like the look of it.
I don't like it. But I will say, first time I saw this, I thought it was I just thought it ruled so hard. I loved the shit out of it in theaters. Watched it again 2 years ago. Really was not hot on it for a lot of what you just said, particularly the way that it doesn't give any justice to Numi, doesn't give any deflates the ending of Prometheus, makes the movie just not really even feel like it mattered.
No, other than them finding the goo.
Yeah.
The events of Prometheus are irrelevant.
Feeling like a lot of the things that are happening in this movie are kind of pointless and stupid. The only cool shit being the stuff that David's doing. But then, I don't know, man. This time around, I kind of love the way the fucking Xenomorph looks in this one.
I mean, when it's not in broad daylight running around, sure.
I gotta even like it then too, dude.
When it runs down the steps, I'm just like, it doesn't do it.
It's so goofy.
It just doesn't do it.
It's such a goober.
It's like a rabbit.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's not as good as a practical.
It's
thing,
supposed to
but
exist amongst pipes.
Yeah,
That's-
it needs to be
that's where
amongst pipes.
It needs to be
100%.
amongst pipes. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But I love the whole idea of David being a weird little
David-
obsessive creator.
genocidal maniac.
Yeah, I love we have a supervillain outside of Xenomorph.
He
Yes.
torched that planet.
Out the gate.
Yes.
I'm like, holy shit.
I know.
Yeah, with a big smile on his face.
Yeah.
And I back to the concept of what we were talking about earlier, with whether or not this undoes continuity with respect to the development of the alien and the Xenomorph. Again, I feel like what we're experiencing and watching here isn't actually the Xenomorph that we come to know and love later on, right?
Right. And I don't have a problem with the idea of the Xenomorph being genetically engineered. Because that's an idea they've been playing with for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't really have, I'm fine with that.
It's fine.
I think I
love
didn't
that.
like it initially, but actually it makes more sense when we get there.
There's something and I wish Ridley would have been able to make the movie after this, because he says he wanted to do the engineers coming after David, which had been for torching their home planet or whatever.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
But there was something interesting to that character kind of being the father of the aliens. And this also I think helps a little bit of Prometheus. David, and the opening of this movie harkens back to Prometheus, because you get that Guy Pearce.
You get young Guy Pearce.
Young Guy Pearce
The only
telling
reason
him-
you had old Guy Pearce.
Yeah, exactly.
to have this one scene of young Guy Pearce.
But he tells him, we're able to have empathy for a robot, because in that scene we get Guy Pearce telling the robot that he will never be a human, he will never have emotion, he'll never understand, while looking at the statue of David and the perfect form of a human, naming himself David. So we have that pathos for David, which in Prometheus, now we know in Prometheus kind of how he's operating socially with Guy Pearce. And so the fact that that character makes the Perfect Organism, which is just a destruction machine,
Yeah.
is interesting.
It
I
is
think there's
super
something really
compelling.
cool there.
I
love
totally
that.
agree. I completely agree.
That's
I think it's
awesome.
I completely agree.
And that's why I'm forever bummed, like, because at this point, right, like we're definitely not getting any more from Ridley, right? Didn't he say that? Like he's completely out of it.
I don't know.
We'll see how Romulus does.
It's true. We'll see how Romulus does.
We'll see how the aging works on human beings too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean it's unfortunate because we're definitely done with the whole Prometheus Covenant through line. But like, yeah, I agree. I kind of want that third movie.
Tell you
I
what,
want
there
it
was,
so bad.
Especially how it ends.
Look, with Covenant, there is a little prophetic thing between David and Walter because of the AI of it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like that,
totally. Yeah, see, it's bad. It's bad. See, it's bad. It kills everything it sees. The second you tell it can't write a piece of music, it'll wipe out a fucking planet.
Yeah.
Of superhumans. Fuck me.
Yeah.
No, again, warts, like at the end.
Yeah.
For that whole end sequence, I'm like, why are we doing this? Where the aliens on the ship?
Yeah.
Because it's fucking awesome.
I don't need this.
You have to end alien movies with the
I know.
It's fucking
like,
awesome.
it's like a law that you have to blast it into space.
At
But
that point, you're like, God, I like it, but I'm like, we're here 20 minutes too long.
I was done.
Like,
That's
Yeah.
that's how I felt last time. This time around, I'm like, no, dude, this is fucking hot.
Return of the King. It was like,
Yeah.
no, this movie was supposed to end.
But like we just had our big alien fight. That whole scene did nothing for me. And then they get it into the airlock and like we have to get it in the truck and then open the thing. Like why don't you just open the thing? The second it's in the room, open the thing. It'll get sucked out. Why's it got to be in the fucking truck? Just more drama. It
Drama,
felt
baby.
like I was like because when that sequence started, I paused and I was like, "There's 15 minutes left in this movie,
Yeah.
and this alien just got on this ship. Like, why are we
Yeah.
doing this? Why are we doing this?"
I liked Danny McBride in this movie.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's great.
He doesn't need to be in here though.
He's no, he's
well,
awesome.
but
He's
he
great. I don't
didn't.
know.
He co-wrote it, right?
Is that what
I
it
don't
is?
think he
I don't
co-wrote
think
that
Co-wrote or
one.
produced it. He's involved because I remember his involvement being just beyond just acting. It's like because he wrote the new Halloween trilogy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not have anything to do
I was gonna
with
say.
Oh, really? I thought he-
I remembered that too, but then I think he just really wanted to be in it. I think he called and was like, "Please."
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. My
But no,
bad.
I thought he was great.
I'll lick my
liked him.
butthole. My
I
bad.
love him in this movie. Like you just
Yeah.
buy. I think he's a great performer. You just buy that guy. Of course, he's like playing a southern dude with a kind of smarm to him, but he's great at that.
Right. He is.
And I also love who also shows up in this movie and is burned up immediately. James Franco.
yeah,
I was
That's
wondering.
right. I was just about to ask.
Was that because of his weird allegation?
No,
sex stuff?
that was the story.
Just,
That was
dude.
that
I
was-
wish more movies would hire a star and torch them immediately.
torch them.
I think I love it every time.
It's really
the
good,
only one I
man.
could think of immediately is unfortunately in the first Deadpool movie when they
Oh,
cast
the Brad Pitt. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I
and they
love
killed
that
him
shit.
off
I just
immediately.
watched this. I don't remember this.
He's the
Deadpool 2.
Oh,
He's
Deadpool
in the
2?
X Force.
Oh god,
he's the
I have
invisible guy.
actually never seen it. Deadpool
Yeah, he's
2.
the invisible.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
you need to.
fucking
Well,
hell.
we
Yeah,
ruined
sorry.
something.
That's okay. I've never
That's
seen
your
Deadpool
fault.
2.
It's like a 6-year-old.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Longer. How old is that movie?
It's quite old now.
2017.
Yeah, I only saw it. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so yeah, it has its warts and
Billy Crudup. God, I love Billy Crudup.
yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Kevin
He's so
Waterston's
good.
pretty good.
I was so excited for him to die in this movie, though. I wanted him to die almost immediately.
Oh, yeah?
I can't fucking stand him in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, his character's kind of a shitheel.
Yeah, he's an asshole in this movie.
Yeah, but it's like how I want Patrick Wilson to die in every movie that Patrick Wilson is in. I wanted him to die in Prometheus, even for just the 2 minutes on screen. I want him to fucking burn alive.
You don't like Patrick?
No, I
Wilson?
can't stand Patrick
What?
Wilson.
What's it? This is new.
This isn't new. You've just erased it from your brain.
no, I know you don't like Ed Warren.
He's like America's dad. What's wrong with you?
He drives me nuts. Sorry.
Wow, no joy. No joy. in this house.
She drives me nuts. No, I wanted Crudup to
Dr.
die
Manhattan.
quickly. Yes.
Yeah, he's kind of a shitty character, but I thought that was the point. But again, this, like I said about whatever AVP, like for me, just aliens out in the open. I mean, as cool as that like scene with them in the field was, I don't know. There's something about it I don't like.
I think it's a rare occasion where it works really well here, and I think part of the reason that it works so well is because like the characters in the movie that are like big badasses, right? Like you feel like they're people should be safe, right, to a degree, and then when they get scared, they do a really good job of acting really scared.
Yes.
And then I think the way that translates to the alien in an open environment with trained military specialists that are scared, I think resonates really well, at least for me as an audience member.
Right.
Do you mean Bashir, one of those guys?
Yes,
who
exactly.
fucking
Yeah,
rules so
the way
hard?
that he acts in this movie is
Yeah.
fucking just top notch. He looks so fucking scared throughout. Like once shit hits the fan, like you believe that. I don't know. I feel like that really
No,
aids
agreed.
to that.
Agreed.
That was Juicy Smollier?
Jussie Smollett. Yeah.
Oh, which one was it?
Rick's was
Yeah.
Juicy
This
Smollett.
one's Rick's.
They were hooking up
Died in the shower.
in the shower.
Oh, that was.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I had no idea what he looked like. Well,
Who is this person?
Yeah,
He got in some internet trouble for being a shitheel. I mean, he got in real trouble.
He got in
Yeah.
raw trouble. He hired people to beat him up.
He staged
Yeah.
a hate crime.
Yeah, he staged
Yeah.
it.
Oh, it's that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, this fucking idiot.
This fucking
I remember
this
that.
fucking idiot.
Staging a hate crime is tough business.
Tell me about it. But yeah, it's a shame we're not going to get more of this because I actually kind of like this world.
Yeah. And we'll be fucking fire us if we didn't talk about the David Walter flute scene. Just to bring it up.
Oh,
God.
Oh, God.
And there's weird like self-eroticism
Yes,
there too.
yeah.
Yes.
He's
Very
like, I'll do the
sexual.
fingering and
Yeah,
and he teaches them to do the flute.
magic, dude.
Perfect.
And then
Perfect.
he starts kissing everybody.
Yeah.
He kisses Walter. Then 2 seconds later, he's kissing Fantastic Beasts. Like, these guys now he's kissing. He was killing. Now he's kissing. He's got to be stopped.
Love it.
But
Man,
dude,
has to be
the
stopped.
like flute stab.
Yeah.
That's Jesus. That scene is done so well.
Yeah.
It is jarring, and the face he makes, and the way.
Oh God, the way it
sits,
crumples up.
So
God
fucking
damn.
good. So
God
cool.
damn, I love that shit so much. Michael Fassbender, what a performer.
And Ridley Scott can still make movies
Can still make
because they're
movies.
both. I like both of these movies.
Yeah, they're both good.
They have got their problems, but damn, they're good.
They're both good. Yeah, absolutely.
Good time.
Good time.
Well, I guess we move on now.
I'm gonna pee.
I have to pee.
We're gonna
Okay.
take a
Hold
pee
on.
break.
Alien Covenant Showcast approved.
Yeah!
Yay!
We want to be clear that we've just checked in with our Discord, where you could also be a listener if you pay us any amount of money.
I think it's $3 a month is what it is. But yeah, so right now we're looking. We asked our fellow Discorders what their alien rankings were, and our dear friend Tristan from Australia sent in the craziest one I've ever seen.
It includes Predator 2.
I was gonna say it includes a movie that is not an alien movie.
You can't. I mean, okay. To Liam's to one of the Liam's points
Uh-huh.
because there's two Liams.
There
now.
are. There are.
We didn't
This
know
is
there were
true.
two. There were. I think there's been two for a while. But we didn't know it.
This is true.
Yeah,
we now
there's-
know there's two.
There's Sassy Liam and Nicely.
By the way, I think it's the middle of the night in Australia right now. Is it not?
It is.
No,
So,
it's
no.
5 hours before now tomorrow. So it's like morning.
It's tomorrow.
Morning
Morning.
tomorrow.
morning.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So
So-
he's fresh awake and you
So
got this.
Tristan,
yeah.
I'm just gonna chalk this up to you were just fresh awake and you saw it in a daze. You're like Predator 2.
Yeah, because it has an alien skull in it.
But
so
I love you for that insane
love
chaos.
It. Love
that
it.
you
Love
did.
it.
It's magic.
I'm more concerned that you have AVP2 not at the bottom. Especially one movie.
Wait,
that,
excuse me?
There's one movie that we've yet to talk about on this podcast because apparently we like it so much, but it is after AVP2 on your list.
Wait a minute. He has it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he has AVP2 above 2 movies. Not just alien movies, 2 movies. He likes it more than at least 2 other movies, which is fucking crazy.
this is insane.
All right. By the way, Jess, our monsterator, had Alien Covenant number 4 on her list, so she loved it about as much as
that's where I had it.
you two. Yeah,
That's where I had it.
somehow more than me, which is awesome. I
So
love
we're up to
that.
3s now?
No, we're up to number 4
Oh, well,
because
mine
yours
was
is Covenant.
Yeah.
Cody, yours is Covenant.
4, yeah.
My number 4 is Alien fucking Resurrection.
Higher.
Fuck yeah!
What?
Higher.
Yes!
Dramatic switch this time. Dramatic switch,
Yes!
baby.
I
Dramatic
was
switch.
hoping for this.
Jesus
Dramatic
Christ.
switch.
Lucas,
Where was
where's
it on yours?
Resurrection? I had it.
Where's Alien Resurrection?
Yeah.
What's your number 4?
What's your
4
number
was
4?
Covenant.
4 is Covenant.
Okay. I had it at 6.
You had Resurrection number
at
6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Higher still. So now
We've
we're.
all said our 4s.
Oh my god.
I think we've all said our 4s. Yeah. So
Yeah.
now we're at
our
3s.
3s. Austin, what's
boy.
your number 3?
my number 3 is Alien 3.
My number 3 is Alien 3.
Hell yeah. At least we're there.
Your number 3 is Alien Resurrection.
My number 3 is Alien Resurrection.
Alien Resurrection!
fucking
Fuck
crazy.
yes!
Hold on, but why aren't we talking about Alien 3?
Because we haven't all said Alien 3 yet.
I said it.
I said it.
Okay, so it shares. These two basically are tied
okay.
for
They're basically tied.
tied for 4
Yeah.
and 3.
We
my-
have it in 3. You have it in 4.
No, I have Alien 3 and 5.
You have it
I,
in
I
5.
had it in 6.
So we should.
We both have it in 3, but Resurrection's their 3. That's the problem. You both have Resurrection in 3. We have Alien 3 in 3. So we'll just pick one you want to talk about first.
This is chaos. Let's do
Let's do Resurrection.
Let's do Resurrection.
Do Resurrection.
because I think
Yeah.
Well, no, let's do Alien 3 because I think Alien 3 came up first.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Alien 3 would probably be net lower on the connecting list.
Yes, but I feel like we should do Resurrection because we're kind of working our way backwards in the timeline.
Flip the coin.
So
Flip the coin. Flip the coin. Flip the coin.
Should we aggregate star ratings and have that decide what?
No, we're gonna flip a coin.
Hey, I can do this real quick.
Don't give him that.
Heads or tails? Heads or tails?
Resurrection heads.
Resurrection it is.
Yay!
Okay.
I'll go first. I haven't gone first yet, I don't think.
I'll go last.
I'll go second. Fuck me. All right.
Jean-Pierre Jeunet's 1997 film
I'm
Alien
third.
Resurrection in 3, 2, 1. A couple hundred years after the events of Alien 3, some scientists are trying to clone Ripley's because they want to have alien babies and make their own perfect monster. So a team of space truckers led by Michael Wincott goes on board because they have some stuff. They soon find...
So they're like making a transaction with the military, and it turns out that transaction is people hosts because they want to put eggs in them. So they do, and they put eggs in them, and they get xenomorph drones because they already have the queen, and then they're looking at the drones and fucking with them.
And then xenomorphs that they have caged up get loose in the ship, and they have to run around trying to escape. And they find out Winona Ryder is actually an android. And then they just continue to run away and try to figure out how to escape the ship from the xenomorphs.
And then most of them die. And there's a newborn alien that is of Sigourney Weaver. Fuck, dude, I've lost the narrative on this.
No, keep going.
No, I'm farting on this one. I completely lost the narrative.
They have Pumpkinhead.
Yes.
It's worse. It follows around.
Yes, it kills mom.
Yeah,
it kills mom.
Pumpkin morph?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they
Right.
suck it out through the little
Sorry,
teeny hole.
sorry,
And then-
I complete
everyone
brain
lives
dead.
happy.
And then Ripley returns home for the first
Yes,
time in 250
that's right.
years.
That's right.
Not Ripley.
Almost.
Sort of.
Ripley. It has the memories of Ripley.
Not
Sort of.
Ripley. It's a clone. It's also part alien. It's a clone of Ripley.
Yeah,
Ripley
sort of.
dies in Alien.
Hold on.
I will argue that aggressively. A clone is not the
A
same.
Ripley.
This is not even a clone because a clone implies that it's perfect. This is not even a perfect clone. This is an Alien Ripley hybrid.
Yes, but A Ripley comes back to Earth.
I'll accept that.
Awesome. Yeah. Guys, we started talking about this a little over 2 months ago, and I was watching these then and was like, I have a wild opinion.
And it's that this movie rocks.
And it's that this movie fucking rocks. And I didn't think
This movie fucking rocks!
I'm not even
rules,
the
dude.
highest on it.
It rules. I like. Admittedly, I like the. Every time that I've seen this, I've been like, whatever, right? And like,
Yeah.
and every time I've been like, this doesn't need to exist. It's barely justifying its own existence. This time I was like, where have I been? And I think I figured it out. I think I figured out why. It's that I resent this movie. I resent it, guys. Here's why I resent it. Because it kills Michael Wincott almost immediately. And that is a crime, especially considering they let Ron Perlman live for almost the whole movie.
Honestly, the wildest opinion you may have tonight is that this man does not like Ron Perlman.
I think Ron Perlman in this movie...
You don't like Ron Perlman?
I like Ron Perlman in certain roles.
Hellboy.
I do not like Ron Perlman in this movie at all.
Young Ron Perlman gives me Liev Schreiber vibes.
Good man.
But he was the beast.
I hate his character in this role. I hate
But yeah,
that
you're
character.
supposed to.
But it's not even.
They're
just,
all shitty
but
people.
But I think that like the
Everyone
way
in
that
this
this
movie.
character doesn't fit in this movie.
That
I,
character doesn't fit?
I don't think it
I
fits.
could not disagree
I don't
more.
like.
And like a group of ragtag space cowboy
So
truckers?
look,
Yeah.
No, they're pirates. We're in an omnidirectional seafaring story. We finally have pirates, and that's why this movie rules.
Yeah,
they're
and Ron
space pirates.
Perlman's a great pirate,
Yes,
right?
yes, that's why they all work. It's a
exactly.
ragtag team of people.
I don't like Ron Perl. I don't think Ron Perlman's character works in this movie.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I really don't think it works.
That specific take is crazier than how high you have this movie in your list. Is that specific?
I don't think it works.
That's-
No, it works.
It works if you kill him earlier.
Okay.
There's too much of that character in this movie.
Wincott is electric.
He absolutely is.
He should basically survive.
He's the
Well,
Bill
no.
Paxton of this movie.
Yes. Who is?
Not Perlman.
Perlman is the Bill Paxton of this
he's
movie,
the like
absolutely.
comedic relief.
Wincott, you can't let that character survive for long,
But
no matter
I-
what.
He's too
He's the
cool.
leader of that bandit.
He's
You gotta
stealing
kill
every
that guy
leader-
off.
because
No,
he's
let
stealing
him
every
go.
scene. You can't have that guy continue because we need
needs
to do the
continue.
Winona
He's
Ryder
so
thing.
good in it. He's so good.
He's so good in everything.
I think we're I don't think it's the same thing as the way that Paxton does it, because the way that Paxton does it, there's this.
They're very different
Yeah.
takes. I'm saying archetype-wise,
Okay.
they're the same
I
thing.
believe that.
But what they're doing, no, what Paxton does is fucking
I
iconic.
I just don't think that it works here.
well, I don't think a lot about
think
this
it
movie works.
I love
And
that.
I think
This is what we're
I
talking
think
about.
everything else about this movie fucks.
And hey,
Insanity.
guys, this movie written by Joss Whedon, directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet of Amélie fame.
Yes,
French
I
art director.
could not fucking believe that.
So cool. This went around. This is one of the harder movies to make after Alien 3. Everyone no one wanted to do it.
Which I don't blame him. 'Cause that
Jeunet
movie
to do.
went through such hell.
It did.
This
should not
Peter
work.
Jackson
What was
directed
Peter
this?
Jackson was one of
Danny
them.
Boyle. They approached.
Yeah.
Well, and it was Jeunet and another guy at first. Then the other guy left.
Yes.
Because he was too French.
Yes. He was too French.
Yeah,
You cannot
for real.
smoke while we're shooting.
No, his
getting in
style.
the lens.
His style just was not like
Right.
it wasn't working. And like I guess there was a lot of while they were making the film, there was a lot of issues where like Jeunet was trying to like get into like breed an American summer film, right? But for somebody that has never really directed through that lens before, he was like having trouble trying to like navigate that for a while. Frankly, I think that what he came out with is like the best possible
It's
version of
proper
that.
fucking weird.
Yes.
This is a weirdo
so
fucking movie.
It's super
fucking
weird.
weird. That's why it's never going to be that American summer cinema movie.
Yeah.
But it's so fucking weird and cool.
But I mean, he probably got served up a hefty, nice meatball-y plate from Joss Whedon though, because that dude,
Helps.
like outside
yeah.
of his shittiness,
Yeah.
talented as fuck,
Oh, of
writes
course.
really fun shit.
Of course.
And so he's given this big fat plate of spaghetti to just fucking write the walls with it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
First thing about this movie, as soon as it started, I said, I do not like how this movie looks.
Oh, really?
Do not like the look of this movie. And I think that's a big problem that I never really got past.
Looks like the 90s.
Yeah. It's got that weird, and like, it's got that 90s, like trying to be slick, modern, but feels dated now thing.
Is it because is it shot digitally?
No.
No? This is film?
But it has something about that era. It feels that way, and it just, I don't like it.
I don't know. You put this.
Some of
I
the
mean, the
shots,
budget of
too.
this is probably much higher, but you put something like this up against Jason X,
They're
roughly the same time.
exactly visually they're similar. in my
Visually,
opinion.
yes, but I do really like the way this movie.
See, and I
looks.
don't like the
Yeah.
that. I don't like that.
This does
visual
have
style.
like bright. This is a brighter movie. Like it's bright. You
Well-
can see through corridors. There are
Yep.
lights that are on.
Yes,
which
yes,
is-
and maybe that's part of my problem.
Well,
it didn't feel vibey enough in that way.
One of you can kick me in the knees if this has nothing to do with what you just said. But like I found out in watching my extended documentaries all day today that
Oh,
they
yeah.
pre-lit the whole movie with the sets. They barely had to do any extra lighting. The whole movie was like just
The
had.
Godfather.
Yeah, they all lit it.
In the set.
The whole set was
Amazing.
limitless, basically just designed that way.
Interesting.
So they barely had any extra lighting
Okay.
happening as they were filming the movie, which
makes
that was really
sense.
fascinating.
That makes sense because I think it takes away from me some of the like mood and vibe.
Yeah.
Of like especially like the first one. Oh my god.
100%.
Like,
I mean,
just
you
like
know,
light and vibe, and this just felt probably too bright
Yeah.
and flat to me. It just felt very okay. I'm here. I did not dislike this movie. Do not get me wrong. I just think it is clunky and weird and kind of stupid in a lot of ways. Is why I put it so low. Like below. I enjoy it less than the Prometheus Covenant,
Where was it on your list?
but right below Prometheus Covenant.
Oh, really?
And I said,
okay.
once we get past Requiem, I like everything.
Yeah.
Like AVP, but like from Resurrection up, I like all these movies.
Yeah.
I liked Resurrection.
And was
I
this-
enjoyed this movie.
Was this one of the ones that you hadn't seen before?
This was it was this and Requiem.
Okay.
I had not seen.
Okay.
And I'd
what-
kind of seen Alien vs Predator when I was sick and it was on TV.
had you seen, which one of the two that you hadn't seen?
This is one of the ones I hadn't seen.
Okay.
Great.
And
I
then
think
also Requiem.
the two most interesting things about this are a proper end to the Ripley story
Yes.
and giving the alien, even though it's not aesthetically and vibey the same as Alien, I think giving the xenomorphs some character back. Something that I think it gives them a new nuance that we haven't seen yet. Like we kind of have this whole history of alien xenomorph stuff up until now that when like Brad Dourif, who is electric in this fucking
Electric.
movie,
He's fantastic.
was being his little weirdo self to them and is like, teaching them,
Yeah.
gas them and shit.
Yeah.
But like we see the aliens or the xenomorphs, learning. We see them like have a bit of an attitude.
Yeah.
Which is, and then we see them, the mother, the queen, and then the neo, or what are we calling it? Does it have a name? It's not a neomorph. 'Cause that's
No. Pumpkinhead is what I call it.
Pumpkinhead morph.
Looks
The,
a
new,
lot like Pumpkinhead.
the newborn is what,
Yeah,
is what they
the
were calling
newborn.
on set.
That's right.
The newborn.
But it has a new while feeling classic still, bringing a new wrinkle to the xenomorphs that I think is interesting to watch. And then the Ripley of it all.
Well, and the newborn is interesting too in itself, right? Because like I know that there was all those kind of like when it came out, there was a division as to whether or not it was like it looked fucking stupid or not. But I actually think that like the fact that it has human eyes is really like it's kind of like captivating in a way because it makes it feel more unnerving.
Yeah,
because you can actually see like emotion in its face in a way, right?
I
And
hate everything about that thing. That's probably most of the reason it's so low. I hate that thing.
So this,
I think it looks dumb as shit. I don't like anything that it does. I don't like anything. Like from that point in the movie on, I'm like, I hate everything.
So
I hate that fucking thing. I don't like its dumb little face.
this blew my mind. There was an insistence that the newborn had genitals. An insistence on
That's the
this.
most French thing.
yeah.
I've
So
ever
they
heard.
went back to the creature.
He must have a cock.
to the creature design.
He
And,
is just born. Why could not have this a cock?
well, they designed a thing like, and I never clocked it until like they literally pointed it out in one of these documentaries. But it's like it's a vagina with a dick in it. Basically, if you look,
It's in the movie.
yes. It like if you look at the front of the newborn,
Curtis,
it is
play
a-
the tape.
it's a
Bump it up.
vagina dick. Yeah,
it's right here.
there's a vagina with a penis in it,
Oh man.
and
I was too busy looking at his dumbass toothless face.
and I guess
Oh wow, that was pretty
that
good.
was pretty good. And I guess what we get in the final product is an edited like a toned down version of the genitals.
Yeah, no
because
shit.
apparently, as I heard in the documentary today, it was even too weird for France.
I'm just imagining some executive watching dailies in full spit taking.
It's
The fuck is that? It's got a pussy dick.
Mattel didn't do genitals like this. What are you doing?
You can't have a pussy dick. This is America.
pussy dick.
It's wild, man.
So funny.
This movie does have, I think, two of the cooler moments in the Alien franchise. The one being the shorter one is the Alien Viper Pit that Ripley falls into,
love it.
which
Love it.
which was one giant puppet.
Oh wow.
It was one giant puppet. It took 35 people to
Holy
maneuver
shit.
that around, including
Jesus.
one guy basically in an alien suit. And then the second being the fucking swimming xenomorphs.
It's so
Swimming
good.
xenomorphs are so cool.
Them swimming is fantastic.
Guys, this was fascinating to me. So they wanted to do this. Everybody was like, how the fuck are we going to do this? Part of the casting process was asking if they would be willing. It was meeting with an instructor to get a sense of their like how they do underwater. When they were trying to figure out how they were actually going to produce the scene, the pitch to the studio was, let's take one of the sound stages on the lot and let's just convert it into a permanent 150-foot long pool that is 15 feet deep.
That's the most insane thing.
And that will just be permanently there. They can always use it for any other thing, and they can just dress the
Right,
set.
It's just like a water set.
Yes, it's just like a
Things
giant
movies
water
get
set.
to spend money on is great.
Well, I'm guessing they weren't allowed to do that.
No, that's exactly what they did.
Oh, that's actually a really good idea.
That's exactly what
It's
they
like
did.
in the first Space Jam, they had on set, they built a fucking half court for anyone to be able to play basketball at all times.
That's much easier to do. but no, I think it's actually a great idea if you're a film studio. Like you're gonna shoot a water thing again eventually.
Yeah, have
Just
Oh, it's a
have
great
water
idea.
set.
Have that.
It's a really good idea.
It took the actors weeks of training. They basically got scuba certs
right, yeah.
to do this, and then took weeks to actually film it. And
Right.
watching them film these scenes looks like it fucking sucks.
I've
Yeah.
only
Major
heard
dick.
from any actor who's ever done any water thing. It's the worst.
like
It's
they're
the
worst thing
just
to shoot.
sitting underwater. They have a guy come up that will just shove the oxygen mask in their face. They'll be sitting in there taking the oxygen. Time to film another scene.
Yeah.
Or film the next shot. Take it out. They do it. They're holding their breath. It looks miserable.
Yeah.
Perlman was saying that it was just like hours of this
Oh, God.
every day for weeks.
Terrible.
But it looks fantastic.
But
It
damn,
looks
it
so
looks
good.
so
It
fucking
looks so good.
That's
Even
the
the
best part of
CG
the movie.
aliens kind of stand up in there.
It kind of
Yeah,
stands up
I
in
agree.
the water.
I agree.
Yeah.
It really does.
When you put them in the water, I didn't mind it at all.
Yeah,
because
because you know what
sense.
is even cooler about that is like aliens ain't got to breathe. They don't
Yeah.
give a shit. They can
Yeah.
be in the water as long as they want.
Permanently.
It's so good.
The tension of that scene
and the
was
tension
great,
of
too.
Gary Dourdan, who plays Christie, putting the Frenchman who spoke his lines phonetically on his back, because he had to
Yeah.
ditch the wheelchair.
Oh,
putting
yeah.
that guy on his back and fucking filming that.
Oh, that guy was French?
Yes, he was an anomaly
yeah.
in that guy's other
Yeah.
shit. He didn't know English at all.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, wow.
But yeah, having to put that guy on back
Yeah,
of
yeah,
another
yeah.
person to go
Part of-
swimming in that.
Part of
Yep.
part
So
of that
good.
is why what makes the story so cool is they're having a disabled character in the crew, just
Yeah.
cause.
Yeah.
because they're pirates and they just have a ragtag group
Yeah.
of people.
They do stab him in the leg for fun, though. I think that's another problem. I mean, not a big problem, but like part of what holds this back for me is like everyone in this movie is a piece of shit. Every single character is a piece of shit. Even
Yeah.
Even Winona Ryder, even Call.
Oh,
Even
Call,
right
Call
now.
sucks.
and
mostly.
even Clone Ripley, kind of a piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
Huge piece of shit.
Like so there's like no redeeming. So I'm just
Yeah.
kind of like watching it unfold. There's like cool shit happening, but I am not emotionally invested because like, well, they all suck.
Yeah, and
Just
Dan
fucking kill them
Hedaya
all.
is a weird little weirdo.
Which one is
guy.
that?
The head captain of the
Yeah.
ship.
Yeah, he's
whatever.
an asshole. They're all every single one of them's an
Yeah.
asshole. So I'm like, fucking kill them.
I
Yeah.
kind of love that.
Yeah, it's
but-
great. I like that too.
It just no emotional investment.
True.
Although this another really fantastic shot in this movie that I love so much is when they're all getting in their escape pods, and the alien crawls into
Yes.
one of them.
Oh,
Yes.
Just great,
So
great,
goddamn
great
good.
sequence. Great sequence.
It's just cool shit happening
cool shit.
throughout this movie.
It's not enough beyond cool shit, but I will give it a lot of cool shit.
Austin, there's a thing I bet you liked in this.
Go on.
The clone room
Yeah, I did
you
love
like the clone
Fuck
room?
yeah, I love the
Room's
clone
so
room.
great.
of just the hideous
weird
monstrosity
Is that
of the Ripley's.
that's the one? Okay, so it has an alien head and there's like a full like female figure
Yeah.
with
Yes.
like a nice
Yeah.
big butt. Okay,
That's
that's
a nice big butt. There it is.
that's a door that's going to be hard to close for me for a long time. It's like when they did the crane down on that thing, I was like, oh no.
You told
You
Sorrel
did
this
it.
yet, or is
No,
she
you
learning
did
it
it.
for
She
the
was
first
asleep,
time?
thank God.
So she'll be learning
a-
about this as she listens to this episode.
She's
Great.
a heavy sleeper.
Great. Great. Did anybody
Wow.
else get a firm erection?
No,
from
not
that?
at all.
That, no, for Pearl Monster,
God
Sigourney
damn.
Weaver,
Well, then
Xenomorph.
my first question is like, why'd you keep this alive? Why would you keep this thing alive?
Again, it helps because everyone on that ship is a little weirdo.
They're- yeah,
like
they're
Brad
pres-
Dourif probably wants that alive for reasons I don't
Oh,
need
yeah.
to be explained. Just look at that man.
He is such a weirdo.
Look at that
I
man.
loved watching them figure out. I like how smart they were in this movie. I loved watching them figure out how to escape when they just killed the one, and then the
Oh,
acid
yeah,
blood, and
exactly.
they just- like that's
Use the blood.
fantastic.
It's so good.
Was
Fantastic.
Deadwood airing at this time?
no,
No. So this was before.
this is before Deadwood.
Yeah.
This is before
By
Deadwood?
a few
Okay.
years, I think. Right?
Who's
Yeah.
in
Okay.
Deadwood?
Brad Dourif.
Oh, he is.
Yeah. And so he's a mad scientist in that one, basically
really?
too. Yeah.
It's great. He's a
Yeah, she's a
Well,
doctor.
he's a doctor.
He's not a mad scientist.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like the same thing because he's like pushing envelopes and he's a doctor that does things that he's not supposed to. And
We're not here to talk about Deadwood.
I think you watched a different show.
Since they don't agree with you, I will agree with
thanks,
you.
man.
So we're split. So we'll never know.
So have you even watched the show?
No.
No, he
Great.
doesn't know.
But I
he
agree.
doesn't know.
Outstanding. Will you ever know?
No.
Okay.
I'll never know.
But I think Sigourney gets to do a cool thing here. And
She
Winona's
does.
good as a android, but
Yeah.
Sigourney like gets to like chew on having
Yes.
been part of this thing for 20 years now and playing a character that, you know, say what you will about Alien 3, there is like juiciness to having to deal with the way Alien 3 ended.
Well,
as that character.
It's interesting because I in the interviews that I was watching with her today, she was very, very, very upset that this was being made. Everybody seemed to be pretty happy with the way that Alien 3 ended. They didn't want to reopen this. She read Whedon's script and was immediately like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm in. I'm 100% in."
Which makes
Everybody
sense.
read Whedon's script and were like, "Oh yeah, no, we changed our mind."
That's
We're
what
totally
this movie
down."
feels like is an answer to I don't want like Ripley died. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
She
That,
did.
like,
She
and
did die, and she stays dead. This isn't Ripley. And I think that's why she even did the movie.
It is.
Was because she got to do a different version.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why she initially agreed to 3. Is because Ripley was going to die, and she wanted to put it to bed. And then I think she agreed to 4 because it wasn't really Ripley. She got to do something different with it, and she wanted. And that is interesting. And I agree. I like that she got to do that. I didn't like that. I didn't like seeing like shitty alien Ripley. Just not a character I want to hang out with. And I personally, we'll talk about this movie next, love Alien 3 and love the ending of Alien 3. And I like closing that chapter. And I would have, I don't know, there's a part of me that's like, just let it stay dead. You know, like, I appreciate what you did. I like what you did, but like I don't need Ripley in every Alien movie. I don't need. I like to move forward from things quicker than other people.
And at that rate, I think like it's either you have Ripley or you don't have Ripley at all, right? Like because like you have Ripley the way that they did it here, you don't. Because the other 3 movies, it's basically like it's either Ripley in one instance, Ripley finds herself in a really shitty situation. In the other 2, Ripley wakes up into the really really shitty situation.
Yes.
So what would it be? In the third one, she wakes up again.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a fourth one.
It's
into
like,
a
how
really
much
shitty
can this
situation.
poor
Right.
woman
Yeah,
deal
so
with?
How many times is she going to wake up and be like, fuck?
Yeah.
It's a great starting point. It's a great starting point
Yeah.
for sure.
So I appreciate and I don't like besmirch it. Just for me, I didn't love watching it. I didn't like. I just didn't like hanging out with any of these people. You know.
Yeah.
I was like, I felt like I went to a party. I'm like, this party's too mean.
Yeah,
everyone here's too drunk for me.
Yeah,
I need to
yeah,
go.
for sure.
It's like that vibe.
Even the one victim in it, Leland Orser, who is the lust victim.
Oh,
in Seven.
Yeah, that's right.
He's got the alien chestburster in him, just like a ticking time bomb about to go off. Even he's like a big little weirdo.
Yeah, everyone's. It's so weird, which I appreciate. I like this movie.
Yeah.
Just too much weird shit for me.
Fucking hell yeah. Is that Alien Resurrection?
It's
I
in
think so.
Resurrection.
God
It's
damn
it.
SHUDcast
Resurrection.
Hell yeah, Tristan.
Oh yeah, approved.
Hell yeah. SHUDcast approved.
Yes.
Yes,
Approved.
Okay, so now is it
It's
back to
Alien 3.
me?
No, it's Alien 3.
I
we're doing aliens.
Oh, we're on 3. Okay,
Yeah.
so who goes first? I'm going
I
first.
just went first.
Okay,
I haven't had a first.
Then you go first.
Maybe ever.
Maybe
At
ever.
least in a while.
It's true. I'll go second.
I'm
I can
first.
caboose it.
Okay, I'll go third.
I think.
You want to switch?
No, I have
Durance
a
trial,
caboosed.
baby.
Okay.
Oh wait, hold on. I need to clarify. I need to caveat on this movie.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I have only ever seen the extended director's assembly cut, whatever you want to call it.
And I have not seen the theatrical cut in
Right.
10 years.
I have
Same.
only seen the theatrical cut.
Okay.
I wouldn't know. I haven't seen theatrical in a while, too, so I won't know.
So the point is, before we start our shutdown, I mean, I don't think they're radically different.
They are.
They're radically different,
They are
right?
radically different.
I've only ever seen.
There's-
it.
If I'm caboosing, is it going to be radically different?
I want
We'll
you.
find out.
I want you to caboose, 'cause I don't know what
1992's
happens
film
in your
Alien
version.
3 by David Fincher. 3, 2, 1.
So then, the lifeboat of the Nostromo crash lands on this horrible prison planet, and they're found by the people, and they're brought in. But Hicks and Newt died in the crash. Only Ripley's left alive. She wakes up, and they got to shave her head because there's lice everywhere, and it's a prison for all these crazy inmates. It's like a refinery.
There was also a facehugger on that ship. The facehugger gets into the planet, and Charles Dance is the only nice person on this planet, usually. And so Ripley's just dealing with living on this planet now until the rescue ship comes. But an alien inserts itself into a dog.
Into a cow.
Yeah.
The cow comes out. There's a giant cow dog alien running around. It starts picking off the inmates one by one. The inmates kind of eventually band together, and then they
figure out they have to trap it in the little lead wall thing. So then they formulate a plan to trap it in the little wall thing, and then they do, but then it survives, it jumps out, and then they spray it with liquid nitrogen, then it explodes, but then they're like, Ripley, you still have one in you, we need to catch you. And they're like, no, fuck you, bitch, and she drives into the lava.
Yeah!
we got it.
Yay!
It's funny. As I was going through it, I got to mine, and I was like, okay, we can either like really, really, really dive in on the minutia, or we can just.
Sure. You did great.
We can just.
No, you did great.
No,
we
we
gotta
get into
gotta
the minutia.
We got to stay big picture.
Because there is so much fucking minutia in this
There's
movie.
a lot of minutia.
That's
Gentlemen,
kinda all it is.
If I may, I would like to add some color to the beginning of this before we dive in.
Yes.
About the wild journey that it took to get David Fincher into this.
This whole poor fucking movie.
So
Yeah.
first they hire Rennie Harlan. Nightmare 4, Deep Blue Sea, Die Hard 2.
Just made The Strangers
The new
1, 2, and 3.
yeah.
Oh,
First they
boy.
hire him to direct the film.
Okay.
That lasts all of 10 seconds, it seems. Then they hire Vincent Ward,
Okay.
who was hot on some sort of like medieval movie that had come out recently. He comes up with this idea and writes this script where it's a wooden planet
Yes.
that is a giant wooden planet.
What?
Yes.
Yeah. They're like monks in space.
Yeah, it has a medieval feel it's a monastic order, and it's like the idea was
Sounds
that
like a D&D planet.
oh no for real, dude.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
a monastic order that
kinda awesome.
goes and lives on this planet, but they sheathe everything in wood.
That's oh my god.
Just because the aesthetic of it would be cool. And you know what? I fucking agree.
But
would
then,
be cool.
And
That
the
would be
idea was
cool.
the alien is thought of as the devil by all of the monks.
Which
and
they
they're gonna,
kept some of this in the final
yes,
script.
and then they're going to blame Ripley because she's the woman and Ripley has the alien inside of her. The producers, meanwhile, suggest this is stupid. Make it a mining planet and have them be prisoners.
Which David Toohey then did a draft of.
Yes.
Who went on to make Pitch Black.
Right.
Yes.
Riddick. and all
Yes.
that.
Hence the fury of Furiosa of it all.
Right. So the studio has now basically decided that this is the film that is going to save 20th Century Fox. They are.
Well, before we go too far away from that, there was another script you left out by William Gibson.
Oh, I did not know about
And the
this.
reason I bring this up is because it has been produced as an audio drama on Audible.
Oh,
Oh,
And I
interesting.
listened to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the whole script. Lance Henriksen and Michael Biehn reprised their roles. I think this was the first
so
script.
he survives.
Yeah, so in this one, it's so... Do you want me to tell you this one before we get into the
Sure,
real
yeah.
alien?
Let's
Yeah, go
say
ahead.
that one.
So it's... Ultimately, I didn't love it. It's a little kind of a mess. But in this one, their ship drifts into the space territory of basically space Russia. It's called the UPP, and they're a rebellious communistic society. And they're picked up by and they find their way onto a space station, and obviously there was a egg with them, gets out, blah blah blah. But and so then Ripley's not in it at all. Almost, she survives, but she's just asleep for most of it, and then they send her on a ship back home. They do the same thing with Newt, so it's really just about Michael Biehn and
Amazing.
Interesting.
and Bishop. And the really interesting thing that I thought listening to it is if anyone should be suing anyone, this guy, William Gibson, should be suing. I think he should have gone after the Prometheus writers because they do in this one and even Resurrection, because in this one they do airborne mist reproduction, which they do in
Interesting.
Covenant,
Yeah.
to change it up. So you're not necessarily face huggers. Some people get infected by a mist, and when they do, they become hybrids. A la Resurrection. They don't become there is xenomorphs in it, but they become these hybrid monster
interesting.
things. But then at the end of the day, it kind of just becomes they're on a space station, they need to escape, and they got to blow it into space. And listening to it, I'm like, yeah, this is kind of would have been more of the same shit, and we needed to do something new. So I'm glad they went with the script they went with.
That's
for those
fascinating.
reasons. But if you have Audible, you can go listen to that right now for free.
But then
Hell yeah.
all this to basically just wrap up all this to the point that Fincher gets brought in. The studio continues to have the sets be built. They continue to do all of the shit that was basically based off of the 20-page script or something that
Yeah,
they
the
had.
script was not done.
They just
when they
keep-
started shooting.
And they just keep having shit rolling. Creature designs.
At what
Everything
point
is
do they decide that this is going to just be an East London Cockney town that gets dropped into this planet?
I think when they hired all the locals.
yeah. They bring in Fincher.
Every guy, bald, same looking white dude.
Yeah.
They bring in Fincher. Fincher meets with Sigourney Weaver and everybody. Everybody really loves him. And Sigourney Weaver's the final approval for her was she says, "How do you envision Ripley being in this film?" And he pauses for a second and he says, "Bald." And
Fincher?
Fincher says bald, and that's why she ends up being bald,
Right.
Hell yeah.
which I
Because
love.
they just wanted to see her with a shaved head. I mean, look, it looks good.
Dude, they gave her
great.
she was so not happy about that in the end that she put a clause in her contract that says if she had to do it more than X number of times, she gets a $40,000 bonus. You guys heard this? She gets a $40,000 bonus. Well, then they
I'd like to write that in for me doing this show, by the way.
What, shaving your head?
Yeah.
Okay, deal. Okay.
they
saw it.
they go through the development hell of the film. They finally get to the end. There's reshoots. They go to her and they're like, "You have to do this." She goes, "Give me $40,000."
Yeah.
Studio was like, "Fuck that." They hired a guy and paid him $16,000 to make a skull cap that had teeny little hairs
poking
throughout
out?
it, poking out. And it took hours to put it on her head.
Yeah.
I love that. This concept of so I think the last 10 minutes of the movie is her in a skull cap.
Yeah, and they probably lost money with how
Probably
much
lost money
time
with
they
that.
lost doing it rather than just paying her out.
Maybe. I don't know. It took them a year and a half to edit the movie.
Also, just pay Sigourney. God, just pay the fucking woman.
Yeah.
Pay her to cut her. It's fine. You have
Make
the
her
money.
happy.
Yeah.
She's your fucking franchise.
Right.
Yeah,
Fucking
she's your lead at
drives
this
me
point,
nuts.
especially.
That's just dick swinging is all.
Yeah,
it is.
this movie always kind of breaks my heart a little bit because I just while I do legitimately love it,
Yes.
I love this movie.
100%.
It's even though Fincher was neutered, it's still Fincher.
Yeah.
You can feel it, and I love the aesthetics of it. Especially in the director's cut, which you need to watch. There's just the character of it all, and what like the themes of like the devil and this weird sort of religious aspect that these prisoners have. It's just great. Like you feel trapped, and like the scene, where Mr. Lannister or whatever gets it.
Charles Dance.
Yeah.
God,
that scene is so fucking good.
Yeah,
And the weird little weirdo who lets him out because he's like, I want to see the devil.
Yeah.
And
That
you don't expect it to come.
No, because he's the only good guy.
Yeah.
He's like like Ripley
right.
and he like they just had sex. Like they are.
Oh yeah. Charles
like,
Dance, not the
Yeah,
crazy one.
Charles Dance. Like
he's your lead guy.
he's a good
And
dude.
just nope, fuck him.
And again, like kind of the only thing that I liked about AVPR is like this is a mean movie.
It's very
It
mean.
starts out
Yeah. Alien 3 is mean, which I love.
starts out doing the meanest thing that
Yeah.
everyone shits on it for is killing your two favorite characters from the last one.
Yeah, I know.
It's mean,
But
but to your point, it's my favorite concept.
Yeah.
I think of all of them.
I'm just heartbroken every time I watch it because before I got on the tangent, while I really love it, I can just feel like, oh, there's something so much better here that they didn't let you. Like, they didn't let Fincher, because he's pretty much disavowed this movie, but they didn't let him do. And I'm like, fuck, I want to see that version. And I also want to see the version with no CGI.
I know.
Because,
So,
oh my God,
fun
it's so
fact, fun fact, guys, that is not a CGI alien.
There's a lot of
Is it
CGI
composite?
alien in the movie.
That is a puppet.
They covered over that puppet.
Most of the movie, I was watching this today. Most of the alien that you see in that film is a tiny puppet that they shot against a blue screen, where they literally had to have a guy come in every day and mathematically
composite it in.
mathematically determine, okay, if the alien, if they're on a set and the scale of the set is this, and this is happening, well, then that means that we need to build an area over here for this alien to run against a blue screen on, so that it will have this much movement will be in scale to that, right?
That's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah, and just putting those two things together just makes it look like a fucking.
It looks
so much work to just build a puppet.
It's insane.
I
You
know.
watch the footage of just the puppet, it fucking looks so cool.
Yeah.
It
Really?
looks so awesome.
Just put that in the movie.
That's
you
what
seen
they
the
did.
footage? Have you seen the dog footage?
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
fantastic.
Yes,
it's
They-
hilarious.
At one
Whip
point, they just put stuff on a whippet, like an alien. But like, and anytime they've tried to use a dog, it doesn't like it's clearly a dog. Like it just wags its tail.
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like the way it runs. Like
so
it's not
funny.
menacing at all. Like that's just a dog.
There's a great piece of footage from the behind the scenes where it's they dress the dog up. They could only do rear shots. They couldn't do front because they had to make half the alien head off. So there's a scene of one of the main VFX guys. The dog runs, right, and he's like, oh yeah, that'll work. His next words are, "Oh yeah, it's gonna work perfect." Right, and then the next shot is like what it actually looked like.
It's like no,
just
it
horrible.
didn't
Just
work.
Clearly a
Horrible.
dog.
Clearly a
didn't
dog.
work.
Yeah.
No, but the puppet looks so cool. It's a shame that like visually imposing the puppets like shots on there just doesn't work.
But because I like what they're trying to do, and I understand why they went that route. Because they're trying to do like it comes from an ox in the director's cut. It's something else. It's a dog, right? In the theatrical. So it comes from this ox. So they're trying to give it this animalistic quality, which I fully agree with.
Oh wait, I saw an ox.
So you saw the long one.
Well, so
It's hung on a chain and,
And
they're
he's
like
like,
splitting
what's
it
this
up.
thing?
Yeah.
Which also always makes me laugh. Like, you're not going to make a bigger deal out of finding
Yeah.
clearly some sort of gigantic
Yeah.
alien parasite. You're like,
Yeah.
boy, what's this? Never mind. We'll throw it in the gutter.
yeah.
Yeah.
Off we go to be prisoners.
In the theatrical, it's a Rottweiler.
Yes.
Which
Oh,
is,
it
I
is?
think, actually what I watched this time. I'm remembering now. Because I saw the Rottweiler.
Yeah, it's a dog.
Okay,
It's a
I saw
dog.
an ox. Oh, so I did see
You
the
watched the-
director's.
you watched
Oh,
the
'cause you did see the
director's
director's
cut.
cut.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a dog. and
You
the
watched a
director's-
very long movie. You watched the director's cut.
It was 2.5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
the director's.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is, and it's crazy when you watch it too, because you can like the audio scenes that are fucked. If you,
Yeah.
you know, like every time, like
Yes.
it's crazy that like, because I think it was literally cut together like guerrilla style. Like it's
Yeah.
not like it was not initially originally sanctioned when at first. That's
No.
why they called it the assembly cut. But then when they were putting out the quadrology, they were like, oh, they got wind that people actually like this version, so they put it in. But like, man, some of those audio just fucked.
Not clean.
No, not clean at all.
But a much better movie.
When apparently, like the all of the footage that Fincher shot at like for the very first assembly cut that they made before they did any reshoots was 3 hours long. I would love to know
I'd love to see that version.
what that looked like.
love
right?
to see.
I mean, apparently it had a bunch of holes. Like I don't even think it had the ending.
Sure, exactly. And that's like, and then like, I think part of the reason the alien probably looks shitty is like budget and time constraints and like not knowing what the fuck was happening at any minute. And like I make a lot of excuses for this movie that
Same.
I probably should.
What year?
Yeah.
What year
But
was
kind
this?
of love it.
92.
Yeah.
92.
So look, I remember when we played GoldenEye as kids on the
Yeah.
N64. We thought those graphics were like, "Dog, these rule."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At the time, that probably worked. It's just not the graphics. Maybe just aren't aging.
I think
Well-
that's part of it. I'm sure at the time it was still like, oh Jesus.
Well, but like
Yeah.
unlike Resurrection, right? Like because it was all CGI, they were able to just sort of update that when they made like
Yeah.
better versions. This is not.
Yeah, it's baked in.
It's a puppet.
yeah, you're stuck
Yeah.
with.
This is the same year as T2, which is like, yes, that is the pinnacle of the form, but it's
Oh,
like
wow.
you're comparing these two
Right. Yeah.
things. Oh, yeah!
I know. Give Alien 3 the T2 budget.
Yeah.
But I just love these characters.
It's so cool,
And-
man. I love fucking, like, again, we talk about the Cockney brigade of British actors. Like, fucking Pete Postlethwaite's in this goddamn thing. He's the lead dinosaur hunter in Lost World.
yes, yeah.
He's fucking great.
So is from Mindhunter and
yeah, Holt
Creepshow 2.
McElhenney.
Yes.
Is Holt McElhenney in Creepshow too?
If we're thinking of the same guy.
He's the
Mindhunter, like the main guy.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I just didn't
He's
remember
in Creepshow too. Yeah, he's
Fuck
like one
yeah.
of the biker dudes.
Yeah, he's the one. He's arguably the worst one in this.
Oh yeah. He tries to do the.
He does the raping.
rap, yeah.
Uh-huh.
He's the rapper.
I loved all those guys. It felt to me like this. It was like this troupe of people who were representing like the proletariat. It was like a very Shakespearean proletariat group of people that were arguing for or against God the whole time. While you have Ripley who wants to just fucking die
Yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah.
And this whole that I mean we can get into this aspect of it now I guess, but I think this is the aspect of the movie that I loved about it was that it did get very philosophical,
Yes.
right, in this one. And like let's I love that they finally decided to do something, explore something about what this alien might represent, and the way they went about it I thought was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Charles S. Dutton also rules. So good in this fucking thing. It's Dylan.
Yes. Fantastic.
So
performance.
goddamn. Because there's a void that's left when Charles Dance dies. You're like, who's going to be kind of the leader of these other? And Charles S. Dutton shows up.
Right.
Like, he's So goddamn.
Which narratively I really like because you take away this last bastion of safety
Yeah.
that Ripley had in this already very dangerous world, and then he kind of becomes that, which is great, and redeems himself because he's kind of always.
Yeah,
fighting
I always
himself.
the thing for their plan is always like so scary to me. Like
It's
the,
terrible. It's
the hot lead and having to sacrifice yourself to the hot lead thing. Is just like,
I wonder-
it's always stuck with me.
I wondered if I was going to like this movie once she established, like, we're not going to get guns. We don't have guns. I'm like, wait, hold on. I don't know if this is a law of Alien yet.
I
Of
love
whether
that.
we need to fight it with guns.
I love.
And so we're gonna take
going
guns
back-
out of it.
I like going back to no
Yeah.
guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because Aliens is like the pinnacle of the action side.
Yeah, it's a combat movie.
of those movies. So
Yeah.
like I think moving forward, not touching that.
Yeah,
is
James
smart.
Cameron brought his love of the military into that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Sure.
So I think it's smart. I think they did a great job of like trying to find something new, like the going back to Alien, making a horror again, but also putting it on this strange planet. Like there's a lot there that I absolutely love, and I enjoy watching this movie. Though I will absolutely admit it has its problems.
Yeah. Then Lance Henriksen comes back.
Yeah.
Yes,
Into
I
that,
love
and then we
that
get-
him as Wayland, and I
Yeah.
honestly I love that ending for Ripley, of like I mean yes, there's more eggs on that planet, but in theory she's carrying like she gets
Queen.
to
She has a queen.
Yeah.
too.
she gets to sacrifice herself for the good of humanity.
Yeah.
Which I think is a great ending for that character.
It's really good. It's a
Nice.
dark ass movie.
It's dark. It's a dark, mean horror like movie.
Yeah.
But man, dude, that fucking scene in the doctor's office is like some of the coolest shit. When it disappears up the little hole, just that
Yeah.
one little
Oh,
shot.
yeah, dude.
That is so unnerving.
Yeah.
It's so good the way it just boop. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, how about the fact that they perform an autopsy on a child?
Yes,
Oh,
they do.
yeah.
That to me is like, damn,
Yeah.
damn.
And that's early. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
right
out
out
the
the gate.
gate.
Like we're not fucking
We
around.
killed the child. Now we're probing around its dead body.
Oh, it's fucking insane, dude. I love that.
Oh, you
shit.
love Newt?
I
Guess
love
what?
Yeah,
shit.
guess
Yeah.
what? She's horribly dead.
Horribly disfigured. Yeah, that's good shit, man. I love that.
There's something about an uplit Charles Dance that just gives me a visceral reaction. Oh
Yeah,
my
he
god.
texted me this when I was watching this, and I was like, "You mean like in your penis?" He's like, "Yes."
Yeah, he rules, man.
He's so good in
goddamn
this movie too.
Yeah.
I
Just so good.
like you, Austin. I think I give this movie like a lot of like a lot of the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
Because like I think it's one of those. It's such a shame, but I'm at least happy with what we have.
Yes.
Because I think
Yeah.
like with what we have, I'll take it. Because when it hit me today that like David Fincher was having to like look at the script and like look at something that was written and then go look at the existing set and go, okay, I guess we'll take this part and we'll shoot it there.
Yeah.
That it just wild.
It sucks,
dude.
man. It sucks that they couldn't have like a true Fincher
Yeah.
version of this
I
movie.
can't believe that we got it even what we got.
Yeah.
It's a miracle we have what we
It's
have. And
fucking
it's
a
a testament to what a great fucking filmmaker
Yeah,
Fincher
and
is.
it probably shaped him for how he. I mean, it did shape him for how he went about the rest of his career. He's like, I'm never doing that shit again.
Yeah.
Never working for a studio without a script.
Yes.
He's just not gonna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is a fair requirement before you start a project.
Well, I think it's interesting too because apparently, like when he came in, like he was immediately like already saying like, "No, I'm not doing it that way. I'm doing it this way. You hired me to fix this. Here's how I'm going to fix it."
Good.
But I love that attitude that
Yeah.
he brought to it, and I think it's because of that we even get the thing that I want to watch quite frequently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. And I love the music in this movie and all the outside shots I love.
Yes.
Oh, also.
Which
I was
the
just
outside
about to
shots
say-
aren't in the theatrical either.
Yeah, that's right.
Really? Because
No.
I was going to say that ultra wide shot of presumably Charles Dance's character carrying Ripley back
Yes.
to that, like just kind of the silhouetted
Awesome.
shot across
Yeah.
when the cape or his coat
Yeah.
going in the wind. I was like, oh,
It's
this
cool as
rules.
shit. And the music's really good.
No, and all that shit isn't even in the theatrical cut.
Really?
Like,
Nope.
no,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because all that stuff, the exterior shots, like that felt Finchery, like off
Yeah.
the rip.
No, the theatrical cut,
Complete.
again, it's been a long time since I've watched it, but like from what I remember of it, it doesn't make sense.
That's what I've heard too. I haven't
a-
actually seen it.
Got a
but
lot of holes.
There's a lot of like
Yeah.
legit, just straight up plot holes because of cutting it down.
Ah, gotcha,
But the long,
okay.
long
but it's
one
quicker. And it's just
It's quicker, but like some of the coolest shit gets pulled
Yeah,
out.
it
Yeah.
does. It does.
Like where they trap the alien.
Oh yeah.
That scene goes away in
Oh,
the
dude,
theatrical
that's
cut.
one of my favorite parts of the whole movie when they trap it and Psycho guy
Yes,
comes
runs-
up and
yes.
kills the guards like sorry because he wants to see the alien and thus lets it loose again.
Magic, dude. It's so fucking
That's
cool.
not in the theatrical.
No.
I don't think so. No.
Fuck.
No, I read that today. They just completely cut it, despite the fact that everybody was like, don't cut that.
I want to do because I was thinking about how much I love the music in this one. I want to give a shout out to the music of Prometheus.
Oh yeah.
I
Yes.
think it's fantastic.
Great.
That main theme.
Uh-huh.
The movie started. I was like, wait, this is from this?
Yeah.
because it's great.
It's really
Great,
good.
great. So shout out to Prometheus music.
SHUDcast approved.
100%.
Yes.
Approved.
This might be the largest deviation of all of us, but this was my 6.
That was your
That's-
6.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. Below
I'm not going to lie. You've changed your list like 3 times, so I've lost
No.
track.
just the one. I just switched Prometheus and Covenant. That's the only
Lucas,
switch
I have
had.
heard you say so many different numbers attached to so many different movies today. I've lost track.
All right, we're down to 2 and 1.
Down to 2 and
When
1.
I start getting paid to do this, I'll start.
Jess, by the way, had Alien 3 at number 3
Oh, nice.
and Resurrection at number 6.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, same. All right, we're on the same wavelength
Yeah.
mostly.
Number
So-
2. I'll go first. My number 2 film
This is going to be interesting.
is Aliens.
Same.
Same.
Oh no!
All right.
I had a strong feeling that yours was going to be, your
Yeah.
number 1 was going to be
I
Aliens.
believe that for you.
Well,
yes.
We've gone in order. We might as
I mean,
well
that
just like
kind
stay
of
in
decides
order.
3 of us have that at number 2. We should just do.
We should keep going.
Yeah.
We should do Aliens now.
We're doing Aliens.
Yeah.
Woo!
Aliens!
James Cameron's 1986 film. I'll go third.
I'll go first.
I'll go
Last. I will go last.
second.
All right, Aliens. 3, 2, 1.
Ripley's pod from the last one is floating around space, and it's caught by the Whalen Corporation. And they bring her up, and they wake her up, and they're like, "Oh yeah, everything's fine." And then they're like, "Everything's not fine." And on LE 426 is a group of colonists, and they all get fucked, and they get attacked, and
They want her to go back, and she's like, "Fuck you, I ain't doing that." And they're like, "You have to," and she's like, "Fine, I will." And so she goes back, and then she's gonna help them look, and they look, and there's no one there, but they find a little girl named Newt, and she's survived, and all the colonists have become aliens, and there's an alien queen.
And then a lot of the Space Marines start dying off. We got Bill Paxton, we got Michael Biehn, we got a corporate shitheel, and then they find there's an alien queen on this planet that's developing eggs, and they
They have to try to fly off. And then she has to go get Newt, and then they fly off, and then she finally gets Newt, and they fly off, but then like, oh no, the alien is actually on the ship. They make it back. She has a really cool mech fight with the alien.
I can't believe this is the 7th shutdown we've done. Maybe we're getting
sloppy.
brainworms.
I think we also probably feel a little cavalier because I think we've collectively seen this movie
we're like, wait.
100 times between the four of us.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably, yeah.
Yes.
This is another one that's just in my DNA.
Yes, it is. Believe it or not, we do know this film.
We do know this film backwards and forwards.
Guys, did you know that there was a world where Sigourney Weaver wasn't going to be in this movie?
Really?
Wow, what world is that?
It was the world where they first of all, she didn't know it was happening, and then she was suddenly handed a script that Jim Cameron had written 90 pages of, and she was like, "Okay, yeah, this sounds pretty good. Here, I would like this much money." And they were like, "We will not pay you that much money. We will pay you this much money." And she was like, "No, I want this much
That's
money."
bullshit.
And they were
For
like,
James Cameron to be like, we're not going to pay you that money.
"No,
when
no, the studio,
Not in the studio.
the studio."
He doesn't give a shit. Pay or whatever.
No. Then they were like, we will only do it if it's this much money. She said, "I'm not doing it then." So then they went back to Jim Cameron, like, "You're gonna have to
Write it
change
out of
this,"
it.
and he was like, "Fuck you."
Yep, as he does.
And then, as I learned today, just the level of like the way that he runs his films.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's a dictator.
It is
when
a
you're a
wild
fucking
thing.
director that's a guaranteed $1 billion
Not at this point. Not at this point.
No.
Oh, did that Way of Water not get a B?
Here's how fascinating
Not
this
in
is.
'84 or whatever.
He writes 90 pages of for Aliens based on the fact that Terminator had only been a script at this point.
Yeah, it hadn't even been.
hadn't even come out. He got chosen because the producers read the script and Terminator thought it was so good. He writes the 90 pages. The studio is so obsessed with the 90 pages that they say, okay, because Dino De Laurentiis had exercised the option on Schwarzenegger to do Conan 2. So he had to go do Terminator immediately. Cameron did. So Jim Cameron's like, I have to go do this. The studio loves the 90 pages so much that they say, okay, we'll wait. So they wait for him to go do Terminator 2. He releases Terminator 2 comes
Terminator
out.
1.
Terminator 1. And then he goes back to do Aliens. He doesn't even have a name for himself.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
He made
Incredible.
Piranha 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he worked on Galaxy of Terror with
That was
McCormick.
my horror trivia question.
That was.
Yeah, it was. Did you say that? No, you didn't? Because you're not a patron? Join Patreon and watch that video.
There was a world where this was just going to be a Corman film.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I can't imagine a better
Wow,
dude
wow,
to do
wow.
this.
Oh, excuse me. No, that's Alien. That was just going to be a Corman movie.
Oh, you
That makes
It's
much
just
more
Alien.
sense.
It was just Alien. Yeah, I love this. Like, and the fact that it's just a cross between, and I guess this is intentional. The producers, the pitch that they were giving was, well, we want it to be a cross between the film Southern Comfort and Magnificent Seven,
Okay.
which were two movies that they were working on
Great.
at the time, which is wild. And the studio was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what Cameron said?
No, that's what the producers of the film that were like
Oh,
pitching
oh.
the ideas around before they got Cameron.
Oh,
Cody, were you able to deduce whether or not the famous story of Cameron pitching this film is true or not?
From the stuff that I
the
got,
$.
Yeah.
the stuff that I got on this documentary, no.
Okay.
But I also noticed that there is like a lot of shit where like people have different memories of the way things went down in the production
what year
of all
was
of
this?
these.
86.
86. Were whiteboards a thing? Because I think a whiteboard was
Might have
in
been
that
chalkboard.
Do
story.
we have that
Yeah.
technology?
Might have been, yeah. Could have been. I'm sure it was.
Did we have
Did we have
whiteboards?
whiteboards?
Did we have whiteboards
I
in
love how you're
86?
hinting
I think
on
so.
I think so. But then we
Because
had
this part of the story is he fucking just
Could have been a
whiteboard
chalkboard.
marker.
Could have been a chalkboard.
What's
Were
this story?
chalkboards
I don't know
in
this story.
studio meeting rooms? Did they
probably-
like
What
Probably.
the fuck is this story before we argue about chalkboards?
The story is like Jim Cameron goes up to a bunch of Hollywood execs and just without saying a word just walks up to a board and writes Alien and then hits the board and they're like, what are you talking about? And then writes an S at the end and $sign through the S and they're like, fuck yeah! Like Wolf of Wall Street style.
That is the
just
most
cheering.
bullshit story I've heard in my whole life.
Coming
There's
up
no
with the-
fucking way that happened.
Coming up with the title of the movie or the pitch of the movie.
I think the slightly less than Wolf of Wall Street version of that. I think where he went and wrote the S on the chalkboard or whatever and the $sign through it.
as the
And
title of the movie, I believe that.
I don't know. Again, I'm not sure where exactly that because I've yet to confirm really where
That
that, would
sounds like complete
take
utter
place.
bullshit.
But who knows?
For a guy who hasn't made a movie at this point to be like,
I don't know. with his
dollar sign.
with his attitude, I believe
Maybe
it.
believe it.
You ready to make some fucking money, Hollywood?
What I found so interesting about this is that I guess throughout most of the filming, because they filmed the whole thing in Britain, the crew was all British, and they hated James Cameron.
Oh yes.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
they
the
hated
tea
him.
time. He
And-
hated.
Yeah,
the
because
tea time.
the tea time thing. Yeah, that
He's
that-
like,
have
these
you heard
guys don't
this?
know how to work.
Because tea time is a very normal thing, right? And I guess like just generally the way that and this is not surprising, like the way that Americans go about the work day
Yeah.
and the way that British people go about the work day is not the same thing. So like when it was time for tea time, the
Yeah.
tea cart would come up, they'd be there for 15 minutes. So the crew would basically be like, fuck this, and
Yeah.
they'd go and they'd get the tea, right?
Yeah.
Every day they would do a thing where they had like a it was like a raffle where like people would drop money in a bag, right? And they'd read off the raffle ticket of the winning number. And every day, like in the middle of the shooting, they'd be like, all right, it's time to draw out of the bag, right? And he would just be like, what are
he was,
you
like,
doing?
livid.
He threatened to fire the entire crew more than once. And I think at one point they finally went, fine, fuck you.
That's such madness.
Yeah, he's an absolute dictator.
What's so funny about that story is like it's so inherently British because philosophically I agree with the entire crew on that. Take your
Yeah.
fucking breaks.
Take
like,
your
fuck
breaks.
it.
They're
but,
very important.
But when you
But
talk
at the same
about
time,
tea
this
time,
is-
bring me my little tea cart is like, okay, this is silly.
that's when it's like
These
what
are
you
the
doing?
attitudes of why America's a country today,
What, and England's not?
and why England is not the power that they once were. This is why they lost. This attitude of like, we need a break.
This, I heard
Yeah, and I'm the early onset. Look at this fucking shit.
We need
this.
a break.
In fairness to you, there was a while there where all I was doing was drilling into him. After we
Yeah.
watched Guy Ritchie's The Covenant, it went downhill. It went
Look,
to a dark place.
I have an interest in the American military in the same way James Cameron does.
That's
James
his
Cameron
name.
does.
No, James Cameron.
James Cameron.
Yeah.
He loves the military, and that's why this movie works so well.
Well, I think it works so well because it's a combat, right? As a combat movie, and if he had done this any other way, I think this movie probably is dog water, right? Like,
Yeah.
you have the pure horror and dread that is the first one. Get rid of that. Just do terror and combat.
Yeah.
Right? It works so well.
And say what you want about the writing quality and dialogue. It's kind of flat. It's kind of stilted. It's very generic. But you get performers like the ones he's got in this movie to deliver it all.
Magic.
It's fucking magic.
It's absolute magic, man. There's
Like-
so much of this movie is just iconic.
Yeah.
Just part of pop culture. Period.
All of it.
They reference this movie in fucking Avengers.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
ubiquitous this movie is with
It's-
pop culture. It's unbelievable.
I mean, say what you want about the brown facing that happens to one role in this film.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I guess happened to her a lot. I heard on some
Yeah.
interview with her, like, she's Jewish, Jeanette Goldstein, and she would always get cast as a Hispanic character.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. It's really
Because she
interesting.
just,
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
that shit just
look,
happened.
you look at her and you're
Shit
like,
just
I
happened.
never blinked. I wasn't
Yeah.
like, that's clearly a Jewish girl.
But you look
I
at
had
her.
no idea.
That's John
right
Connor's mom or stepmom, dude.
Stepmom. Yeah, you look at
Stepmom,
her
yeah.
in
Stepmom
Terminator.
in Terminator 2.
She's in Near Dark. Look at her
Yeah.
in Near Dark. You're like, these are
she's
different
also
performers.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, dude.
I thought you were saying.
Well, half the cast of Near Dark just is an Aliens.
were calling her near dark.
No. The movie.
Curtis made a racist comment.
Yeah, half the cast of
Hell will freeze
Near
over
Dark.
before that happens.
Yeah,
Also, she owns Jeanette's Bras in Burbank.
yeah.
They have a few locations, but
Wait, for real?
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's her, Jeanette Goldstein.
I love that, and like one of the they pointed this out in one of the many featurettes that I watched this morning. My brain is melting from all this information.
Yes.
I never really I just kind of always took this for granted. I think just based on the years that I've been alive and the year that this movie came out, it's really fucking cool that they cast Jeanette Goldstein, a female, to play the big macho badass person that would normally be a guy.
Yeah.
right. I love that.
Yeah, well, James Cameron loves his strong women.
He
And
does.
but they do go out of their way to make a shit ton of jokes about the butch woman.
They sure do.
They sure do,
They
yeah.
sure do. There's no
Which-
shortage of
but
that.
it's
Which bugs me in no way. They're fucking space
No, absolutely.
Marines.
They're space marines,
What, they're
and
going to
then
be courteous people?
they almost all get their comeuppance, and
Yeah.
like they almost all either get humanized and or get their comeuppance. Like that's
Yeah.
just how well the thing is structured and how well it's performed. Like Bill Paxton, the magic that is Bill Paxton in this thing.
Oh, my God.
You can't written on the page, you're like, this. What is this?
Yeah.
You put him in that role, and you get exactly that magic. I
Yep.
mean, Michael Biehn on the page, you're like, I don't know the alpha guy who's kind of stoic. Like, I don't really know what that is, but you put Michael Bihn's face in this, and his just like aura that he has, and it's magic. Like, you just get all these guys and women in this fucking thing.
So here's a little tidbit. Speaking of Michael Bihn's face, so apparently he did not get paid very much money for this movie,
Sure.
at all.
Okay.
When they went back to do Alien 3, he was very, very, very upset that they did not bring his character back. Right? They just killed him because the way that this was supposed to, everybody in their mind, the way that thought this is the way it was going to end was that because they'd kind of established this even with a particular shot in the movie that Hicks, Ripley, and Newt are going to be a family unit back on Earth, right? So the next Alien movie would be on Earth, presumably, right? Instead, they kill that idea off, and they go to Michael Biehn, and they wanted him to do one little moment where he dies in the beginning of Alien 3. And he was like, fuck you, I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
Like, eat my asshole, right? But they had to use that one picture of him. And apparently the amount of money that they paid for that one picture of his face is about the same amount of money that he got paid to do Aliens, which is wild to me.
Wow.
That
but a fraction of what he would have been paid contractually probably for doing Alien 3.
Yeah.
I guess he calls himself stupid for making that decision because he was like, if I had known that David Fincher was going to be David Fincher, I wouldn't have argued.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, but
I
also
just
like
said, promise to put me in another one of your movies.
But also, it's bull. I mean, he probably would have been part
is
of
bullshit.
his. He probably would have been part of his crew. Fincher's one of those guys like Cameron that works with a crew of same faces.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, it's such bullshit. I don't blame him. Like, come
No,
on,
dude, it
like it's
sucks.
clearly a studio cost cutting technique. Like a new exec comes onto this, tries to make the next iteration of this franchise, and they're just like, no, we're cutting this shit out so we don't have to pay people.
Yeah, we're
Like,
gonna make it
of
cheap,
course,
yeah.
that sucks.
Yeah.
Some of the James Cameron magic in this era, especially the miniatures in this movie, fucking rules.
Yes, they
so
rule
many
so
good
hard.
miniatures.
Dude, they're so good.
Because that was his thing. Like, he was a miniature maker. He was a painter. Like, he was that FX guy.
Yeah,
And
he's
so
he's basically an inventor too.
Yeah.
Like the gun rig, that's the steady thing. Like,
Oh, yeah,
my God.
dude! When I found that out today, like the smart guns is just a steady cam arm, and it's built out of Yamaha motorcycle parts.
Brilliant.
It's fucking awesome.
This is all the reasons why he was the perfect guy to do the sequel to this movie.
You mean the sequel to Alien?
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
Just get all of that plus the story wise, it just makes sense to like bring military people into it. Like,
Yes.
just bring back more.
Make it. It's a war movie.
Exactly.
It's kind of a war movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like the tagline is, "This time it's war."
Yeah, and it's great.
Yeah.
right?
It's so good.
And then we get the best expansion of the alien stuff that we could get. Like, especially if the thesis of it is more is more. It's like, okay, we have a shit ton of aliens. Now there's a queen.
The queen
like
is-
the shot of the reveal of the queen birthing the eggs.
Dude.
It's so
So
gross
good.
and so
it's
awesome.
so fucking good.
Oh,
It's so upsetting.
'Cause you're like, what the fuck
It's
are we
so
doing?
gross.
fascinating to me. Apparently, all Cameron's design for the
Amazing.
Queen. That is not Giger.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
Well, he
Wow.
crushed it because it's fantastic.
Yeah, apparently, like it's that obviously like the blueprint is there because it's
It's derivative of the
But-
thing.
Which,
And
by the way,
it's-
crazy. This is the first time we've mentioned Giger's name.
I've been withholding it until
I
kind
of thought about that
Yeah.
until talking about.
Well,
one.
also note that like after 3, he disappears. And for the most part in 3, he's not present because he gave notes on 3 on what the alien was supposed to look like and did a lot of work on it. And they barely use any of it.
Right.
And then I think from then on until he passed, he basically said, fuck you, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this
Sounds
anymore.
about right. The way its little face like moves kind of independent of its big
Oh
head.
god,
Yeah,
I
it's
love
so
that
cool.
It's so good.
fucking
Everything
much.
about this movie, man. Rewatching it, I just like
the scene for me that kind of blew me away was it's a scene that shouldn't work but really worked. Was watching the ammo countdown on the Sentry guns.
Oh, that's so
the
good.
tension
Yeah.
of that scene.
Yeah.
I
is
love
like,
it.
Out.
this should not work. We're just
Yeah.
watching numbers go down, but like the tension
Yeah.
of that is so
And
good.
isn't that just special edition? The Sentry gun scene?
I
think
don't
that's only
know.
director's
I mean,
cut.
maybe I saw this most recently at the Egyptian in '70, and that was in there. I don't know if that was the special.
Did Ripley have a daughter?
Yes.
Then it's director's cut.
Okay.
That's all cut. I think the Sentry gun scene is cut.
Interesting.
And to be frank, that's the only thing in the director's cut that I love.
Well, I think there's 3 versions of this movie, right? There's the theatrical, the special edition, and the director's.
I think special edition directors are the same.
I think it's 2 different ones.
I think you're wrong.
I could go look at the quadrilogy really quickly, and we
I
can.
think you should look it
prove
up on
this.
your little phone.
I
I
will
believe
go-
there are 2 cuts.
I think
there
we
are
have
only
a-
2. I don't
We have a resident alien spec expert in our Discord, and Tristan, please weigh in.
now.
Now.
Yeah, wait, yeah.
immediately. You have exactly 3 seconds.
'Cause I think
in real
that the
time.
director's cut, which is one of the 2 cuts of this film, adds the Ripley having a daughter storyline, which I could take or leave. I don't know how I feel about that. It adds the we see
hate it.
the colony. I disagree, but it adds
Yeah.
getting to the colony before the Marines do, which I absolutely think should not be in the movie. Because I think it's much creepier if we just show up and shit is bad than seeing them building the colony beforehand. And then the sentry gun scene, which I love and want to keep. But let's talk about the Ripley having a daughter. See, I think if you lose, I don't need that to justify her caring so much about Newt. I think she's just a caring, good person and would care about Newt anyway. I understand that's
Yeah.
why it's in there.
I mean,
I'm not
yeah,
mad
sure.
it's there.
Yeah.
It's just something I could take or leave.
Yeah.
Whereas sentry gun scene, I think, is
I mean, that's great, man. Because that's all part of their plan. It's we'll set these up here. We're the last bastion.
There
Ah!
are
I
2
know.
cuts.
I'm aware.
Amplify that, Curtis.
I was wrong.
He whispered.
Curtis,
I was wrong.
Send that to me so I can listen to it every night.
There's only a theatrical and a...
And a director's
There's a director's,
special
correct.
edition, whatever you
Yeah.
want to call it.
I was wrong. I was mistaken.
Yes, you were. It's okay. We all are all the time.
I know
am
it's
every
okay.
day. Go on. We're talking about Newt, the Newt of it all.
Oh, the Newt of it all.
The Ripley having a daughter.
I mean, this is a great child performance that I think works.
Oh, she's fantastic.
And normally, child performances are my least favorite thing about some of these.
They're usually
especially R-rated,
horrible.
yeah, horror things.
Apparently, finding her was kind of interesting because they kept getting they had all kinds of kids come and audition, but all the kids had commercial experience, acting in ads. So they would deliver a line and then smile.
Fantastic. They mostly come out at night. Mostly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm the
Farmer.
opposite of whatever
I
a
can ride a
pedophile
horse.
is. Is a pedophobe?
Pedophobe.
Yeah. I'm probably a pedophobe. I hated her.
Yeah,
What?
hated her.
You hate Newt. Newt's great.
I mean, as a character or the actress?
I think the actress.
Oh, I think she's perfect.
She's fantastic.
And this is your favorite Alien movie.
yeah.
Yes.
And you hate one of the main characters.
I don't like... No, I don't like child actors
Yeah, it's tough.
in general.
You don't
That's
like
fine.
children.
I don't like children, and I want one very badly, which is...
well, you'll like
is
that
ironic.
one. You'll like
I
that
want my
one.
own. Mine is going to be perfect. Everyone else...
You like the ones you're related to.
Yes.
The rest are horrible.
Yes.
I think we can all agree on that.
You're gonna be
Back-
that. You're gonna be. The,
Well, at least filmed ones are weird.
You're gonna be the Kyle at the soccer games, aren't you?
What's a
What does
Kyle?
that mean?
What the hell does that
Male
mean?
Karen.
You've had to explain
Oh,
this a couple times.
That's a male character.
Yeah, Kyle.
That's not great. It should be like Chad. or
Oh,
something.
if my kid's in sports and the ref or umpire makes a wrong call, best believe
You're getting ejected every game.
I'm getting in his face.
You're going to jail. You're going to go to jail. You're going to be a jail deadbeat dad.
We're going to talk about Lance Henriksen again, but in the role that he originated in this franchise.
Yes.
The first bishop, which is such a brilliant play off of Ian Holm in the first movie.
Yes, Ash.
It's just so fucking good that, of course, Ripley doesn't believe, and we're out the gate. It's not a surprise. We have what they call a synthetic with this team, and she's immediately like, "Fuck you, you suck."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got to ingratiate himself to her the entire
Right.
time, and it's just so.
And he's
fucking,
so charming and great.
he's so good at that.
He's so good.
God damn it!
So
And then
charming.
what I love so much is that. Oh, Bishop survives into Alien 3. We didn't even really mention that.
Oh,
survives,
yeah.
quote unquote.
Kinda.
Sort of. She can resurrect his.
Yeah.
She accesses
Stuff.
him briefly.
So
Yeah.
is that not? I meant to bring that up back then. Is that not the introduction to the droid thing into the Alien universe?
That's out the gate in one.
What? That's from
There's
number
an
one,
alien.
buddy.
There's an android in the first one. It's
Ah,
very,
yes,
there is.
very,
Ian Holmes,
very,
actually.
very,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bilbo.
Yes, there is.
Very
I
Spielberg.
blanked. I
and then
pooped.
and
My
then
brain farted.
and then Bishop in Lance Henriksen in number 2,
yes,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yes.
And then-
okay, sorry.
resurrected.
Yes.
Almost
Okay.
every. Almost
I'm brain
every,
farted. I
Almost
brain
every
farted.
Do you-
movie.
brain farted.
Do we need to get you a bang?
Yes.
You need
Yeah.
a bang?
Do you want do you want a coffee?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
So Bishop fucking rules.
Yes.
And I love how fucked up he gets at the end of the movie. He is just ripped in half.
Oh.
But it's still operational. Like
Yeah.
the top half of him, Ripley just has to bring with her.
and like when they open the hatch, and he's and he grabs on. Oh,
Watching-
chuckle
God,
every
it's so
time.
Watching the B footage of them throwing his corpse in half
Oh man.
to get it to land the right way is endlessly funny.
Oh, I bet that's
It's
great.
endlessly
I need to
fantastic.
see that.
Dude, the tail coming through his belly. Some of the
God
Yeah,
damn.
coolest shit.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I watched probably 10 minutes of them showing how they did that, and I still don't understand it.
Amazing.
It's so cool.
It looks
so fucking good.
So fucking good.
Back to Aliens in Water. The shot of the alien coming up behind Newt.
Iconic.
Maybe
Iconic.
the best shot in
Iconic.
the film.
There,
Maybe.
I believe there's a blanket in this house with that on it. Am I wrong? There
I
will
didn't
be.
buy it.
Oh, you didn't buy it. There
No,
was
I
almost a
didn't- I didn't
blanket.
buy it.
I didn't buy it either.
Yeah, I was to say same. It was just too much. No, that shot's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much of this movie is just
The power loader, man. And that's some of the best setup and payoff in
Yeah.
film history.
it's great.
Because it's just at the beginning, like doing space trucker shit, just
Yeah.
like moving stuff around.
Yeah.
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 But how are you going to fight a giant alien queen at the end?
With a
Ripley
big
in
ass
a fucking-
robot exoskeleton.
Yeah.
Cool.
God. And the music.
Yeah.
God damn, this music's great.
Is this Jerry Goldsmith
I
again?
think
'Cause he did the first one.
Yeah, he did the first one. I want to say yes. Or who's like the main character?
Is that Mac-
Continue.
James Cameron imagination?
Uncertain.
The
power loader?
forklift power loader.
Yeah, I think so.
No, this is
Yeah.
James Horner.
Yeah.
Frequent
Horner, that's right.
Cameron collaborator.
I'm pretty sure like this is one of like as far as like auteurs of this franchise go, I think this one is like through and through Jim Cameron.
Stan
so
Winston
cool.
had a lot to do with this one too, I believe.
Well,
right?
yeah, but what I mean is
But
that like
yeah.
like generally like when you look at like what the product that we get in the end, I think to my understanding is like it's 90% James Cameron's
Yeah, I think
ideas.
he wrote
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very. I mean, he's a genius. Look, he's an absolute genius.
The question that Lucas had asked was whether or not the robot at the end, if that was Cameron's idea or not.
think so.
I think it was.
Yeah, I
I'd
don't know.
imagine
Or is it-
so.
or-
Because I
or
mean,
his
you look at
design.
Avatar. He does a lot of that shit's in Avatar too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he likes that kind of shit.
He loves that mech shit. Speaking of Avatar, the proto Giovanni Ribisi, Paul Reiser. As
Oh
your-
my God.
your human grease stain in this movie.
God, he's the fucking best.
he plays it so good.
He plays it so well. Such a piece of shit. And I love the line of like, I don't know who's worse. You don't see them fucking each other over for a percentage.
God,
Like,
it's
God
good.
damn, it's good.
That's good shit.
And it was kind of like the beginning. I mean, it's in Alien, but like really the expansion of the themes of like, corporate greed
yeah,
and
yeah.
the
that-
dangers within.
We're going to talk about it in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
But yes, I love that. This extrapolates upon what was set up in Alien. Like the corporate stuff just won't stop.
Yep.
It
It keeps-
digs in.
especially like that fucking review that Ripley has to go through at the beginning of the movie with like the board of whoever
It's
the fuck that
fantastic.
is.
Oh, so good.
They don't believe a fucking word she
Yeah,
says.
the bureaucratic horse shit that they're
Yeah.
It's-
and you know that they do, right? You know that they
Yeah.
do believe.
Oh,
her,
they
but
know
they're
there's a
discrediting it because they don't. They have to.
Yeah.
They don't want it getting out.
Right. They don't.
Like
they can't
he
put it
blew
on
up the
paper.
Nostromo
Right.
like
Yeah.
68 billion whatever
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, exactly. Which
great.
again, it was not expensive enough, but that's a sign of the time.
Yeah,
it was like in the
It
millions.
was not.
and I was
Yeah,
like-
yeah. I think it was like
it was like under 100 million.
I love that. Like that you're so keyed into those moments.
just gotta add
bug
zeros,
me.
man.
Just add zeros. Make it preposterous, and then I won't even think about it. But don't make it like, if,
Well-
anyway.
there's something to be said about maybe the movie isn't playing into the theme, but something to be said about it being cheap. That
Yeah.
why are these guys complaining about
That is
something
true.
that is
That
cheap?
is true. I don't think that was
But,
the intention,
yeah.
but I will accept it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still, like, I mean, I don't know. Some houses cost more than that fucking spaceship. I'm just saying.
Oh God, I fucking love this goddamn
Yeah.
movie so much. This
It's-
is one of the most watchable movies of all time.
You can put. I can watch this anytime, any day.
Yeah.
No matter what.
It's probably the first time. I don't know. I might have saw it on DVD first, but like this is the thing that played on TNT all the time, right? Like this
Right.
is
Yes.
on daytime cable,
Yeah.
all the time.
I definitely saw this on VHS.
This is one of
Yeah.
Maddie's
Or, yeah,
favorite
VHS.
movies.
Yeah.
This is one of Maddie's favorite movies of all time.
Maddie, you're
Hell
right.
yeah.
It's one of the best movies ever
Yeah,
made.
fucking
One of the best
hell
movies
yeah.
ever made, without
Straight
question.
up, straight up,
As is the next movie we're going to talk about.
as it is.
As it is, Maddie does not agree with that statement.
Maddie, you're wrong.
Before we do that, I would like Lucas to tell us why he likes why he puts this one as number one.
Yeah. Why is this for me?
I think it's
Faster.
that's part of it. Wait, are you telling me to go faster, or do you think that?
You decide.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Yeah, I think this movie is the first one but kind of like turned up a little bit. Not better, but turned up. And I like the fast pace of it. I like the action of it. I like the Jim Cameron of it all.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why I put it this over Alien. Was I like the Jim Cameron aspect of it. That's it.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nice. That's fair.
SHUDcast approved.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That means we're on.
We're on
Can
number
you,
one.
Our number
can
one.
you imagine just for a second if one of us was like, it's
Nah.
fine?
Yeah. No.
No, right? Can you imagine? I honestly like. I don't say this lightly. Yeah. There's a world where I'd be like, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to like talk about whether or not you're still on the show.
Or if someone put us like
fine.
where Tristan did, which is after Covenant.
He put this after Covenant?
He put it after Alien 3, Predator 2, and Covenant. Tristan.
I know Tristan's a
What
big
the
Alien
fuck?
3 guy. I know that.
I
but
love Alien 3 as well, but dude, come on. Aliens is a perfect movie.
It's pretty wild.
Okay.
Our number one film. I'm sorry. Some of our number one films.
Our mostly
Our
number one
1.2 film.
Lucas, what's your number one film?
Aliens.
Woo! Woo! My number one film
Guys, cheer.
Hold on. He's doing a thing.
is Alien.
Mine too!
Mine as well. Wow!
Alien. 1979?
1979.
1979.
I will go second.
I will go first.
Right.
Wait, no, I just went first. That's not fair.
Did you?
Yeah, I just went first for Aliens.
Do you want to go first, Lucas?
Sure.
Cool.
Caboose.
Okay, I'll go third.
Okay, great.
3, 2, 1.
The crew of the Nostromo is awakening from a ship. And I have not seen this one. I did not watch this go. The crew of the Nostromo is waking up from a deep slumber on their way to find something.
They get a distress call from a planet. They got to go to the planet, despite the anger from some of the crew. But they go to the planet, and then 3 of the people go down there, and they find some eggs. And then the eggs get on top of John Hurt. John Hurt comes back to the ship, and he's all fucked up with the face hugger. And then they're like, "What do we do?"
They get the facehugger off, and there's a chest burster, and it comes out of his chest and it's dinner. And then there's a giant alien that starts running around. It starts picking them off one by one. It's very scary and dreadful. And they start putting in the
So
chutes.
they're trying to kill this thing, but Ash is being all fucking weird, and they find out he's a synthetic, and the company sent him to get the alien in the first place, and he doesn't care if all the crew members died. She's like, fuck you. So they kill him. They're trying to get off, and they're going to blow up the ship, but they fuck up. Alien gets off, but the alien's with her, but she wins. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
I love how you took a moment to be like, I didn't watch this one.
And then stop as if we'd be like, oh, we'll jump in. No.
You
have 15 seconds.
Phil's 15 seconds, motherfucker.
Well, this is why it's not number one on your list.
Because you didn't watch it.
Because you didn't rewatch it.
I didn't rewatch it.
Yeah.
I didn't rewatch
When was
it.
the last time you watched it?
Probably less than 6 months ago.
Yeah, no good.
No good.
Yeah. Less than 6 months ago.
failed.
I've seen
I mean-
this movie at least 5 times.
There, in my head, like, ask me in 6 months, in my head, what do you like, Alien or Aliens? I'll say, depends on the day. They could kind of go either way because they're such different movies. Flip the coin. When I watch them back to back, it is unequivocally Alien.
It is unequivocally Alien always for me. It never changes.
And I think everyone involved in the art department on this movie should be given Lifetime Achievement Oscars.
Yes.
Because when you go back and watch this thing and the aesthetic of it, and you think about how much it has influenced since, it is unreal.
Yeah.
How iconic the art direction. Look, if you want to make a cool looking movie, the first thing you got to do is point a camera at something cool. And that's the art department.
Yeah.
And they made the coolest fucking shit.
Yeah.
It is stunningly gorgeous.
But the first shot of
I know.
space.
Yeah, just
I'm like, this is the
How
best
is
thing
it
that's
so
ever been made.
beautiful? And ironically, I waited to watch this till my 4K came in, and my 4K came in, but I had to watch it on my Blu-ray because I was staying at my parents' house, which I unwrapped to watch it
Yeah.
for the first time.
Oh, that's right, because you found out that you already owned this on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right. You could have just streamed it on HBO Max.
Fuck you in your fucking face. No, I mean a 1080p disc blows a 4K stream out of the water. 10
Oh,
times
yeah.
out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
But even watching it on the Blu-ray, every 10 minutes, I would out loud. This is stunningly gorgeous to look at.
It's incredible.
It is so
The first
beautiful.
half of this movie to me is more akin to a Jodorowsky art film than it is a blockbuster cinema thing.
Well.
Lucas, I'm so glad that you brought that up. Would you like to share this?
No, you have this written down. This is Giger and Jodorowsky had a lot to do with this. I mean, Giger, obviously.
So,
Oh, really?
Dan O'Bannon's idea for this movie.
Yes, Dan O'Bannon. We start with Dan O'Bannon. Can we begin there?
We
Wrote
have
it.
to begin there.
Dan
yes.
O'Bannon wrote this film. Dan O'Bannon wrote John Carpenter's first film, which is a student film, Dark Star for USC.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
He and the homie
I don't remember the homie's name.
Ronald
but-
Shusett
Yes, Ronald Shusett. But go on.
came up with decided to work together, came up with an idea for this.
Because they were basically trying to rewrite Dark Star as a horror movie.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Which, I'll just say it now because we're talking about Dark Star. The main character in Dark Star is named Pinback. When Dallas takes one of the character's pens and says, "Can I have your pen?" He says, here's your pen back.
Oh,
It is a
funny.
callback that Dan O'Bannon wrote to his character from Dark Star.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, go ahead.
Dan O'Bannon gets called away by a little guy named Alejandro
A
Jodorowsky
little guy.
Yay!
to go work on Dune.
Woo!
Because
watched that.
he's
We're
in
not
the,
mentioning that, but I
he's
just
in the
watched that.
middle of working on his never came to fruition adaptation of Dune. While there, he is introduced to somebody who was integral in all of that, named H.R. Giger.
Yeah.
Point being,
Did Giger design stuff for Dune?
Yeah.
yes, he did. He decided some of
He
the
did.
the pre-pro stuff.
That would be.
It's wild.
The world would be different if that movie got made.
The point being,
I believe you.
That through line that like if you don't have Dark Star and you don't have Alejandro Jodorowsky making the most extravagant film ever made, ever not made,
Right.
you don't get this.
That's fascinating.
I just love that like the way that the stars align. in that.
absolutely.
And literally, because you also need Star Wars. That's the other
Yes,
ingredient
yes,
to this
yes.
that you need because that showed. Because this was floating around before Star Wars, the idea.
Oh, interesting.
And then it wasn't viable because no one's going to make a expensive, even moderately expensive sci-fi horror thing. But Star Wars did what Star Wars did. Hence,
And they were like,
Right.
"Oh, space, yes,
yes, we can
Dig
do
out all
this
the
now."
space scripts."
yes.
Well, and they'd done Galaxy of Terror with Roger Corman, and this was supposed to be it was just going to be a Roger Corman film.
Oh, wow.
And they
We
were
went to Walter Hill instead.
yeah, right.
Who was the famous action genre exploitation director, and he ties with Fox and all that, and that's how that came about.
And Tom Skerritt was going to be Ripley.
Was he?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah, I think Tom Skerritt was originally cast as the lead, and then someone wanted Sigourney Weaver as Ripley instead. I think that's what I read.
That's interesting. I had
Maybe
not
I know
heard
the
that.
famous thing about the script is that there are no genders given to any roles.
Oh,
So
That-
it's
that's
like-
that's what
yeah.
it was. So Tom Skerritt was
Oh, okay.
originally cast as Ripley, but because there were no genders, somebody was very accepting of, give it to Sigourney.
Well, this was her first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had basically she had nothing before this. I
Not
don't
to my
think.
knowledge.
Wild.
Yeah, and this is Ridley Scott's second movie,
Yeah.
who came on after a litany of people didn't want to do it.
Boy.
And he had done nothing. He did The Duelists before
Right,
this, which is
right.
basically take what he made with Last Duel in Napoleon and make it his first movie ever, and that's what you get with that.
Wow.
Well, and even
Fascinating.
more
Always
interesting,
fascinating how
Lucas,
that happens.
to your point about Scared, is that when none of the actors liked working with Sigourney Weaver because they thought she was a shitty actress, thought she was doing a really shitty job.
That sucks.
It's fascinating
wild.
to me because like you watch the film and like I don't even get that as a chemistry on set, right?
This
No.
is right in the. This is right after the bubble. It is the expansion of the bubble of the new Hollywood movement, right? So like there are new performance techniques that have been starting from the mid to late 60s to now. So like you still have that era of actor, and Tom Skerritt's kind of one of those guys who started off with a more broad
Right.
performance style, and a lot of these performers and people on set just aren't used to that. And Sigourney is just all like her face seems to not do a lot,
Right.
But it is
Right. Well, and there's an
Always.
interesting, if that's true, and I could easily be reading into it, but if that's true, it does sort of create a dynamic that works where she's a little bit isolated from the rest of them. Because throughout the movie, she is a little more cold. Like she's the only one who's like, we can't break quarantine. You can't stay out. Like she is a little removed, which makes sense 'cause she's the last one. So I could be reading into it. But if that's
think
true,
so.
it actually, if anything, adds to the esthetic of it.
And I mean, speaking of that, like just all of these characters, and I think it's Roger Ebert's review at the time or someone's that said that the believability on a lot of these characters work because they're all pitched older than a lot of these characters would have been cast as in the more traditional version of this movie.
Yeah, no, completely. It works.
So they're all mid-40s.
So in the era, this would have been like high school kids in space.
Yeah, I mean,
Almost,
yeah,
basically.
20 early 30 somethings, like Sigourney Weaver at that age, but everybody's that, right? But you have
Yeah.
Harry Dean Stanton, who's preternaturally always 70.
Yeah.
You have Yaphet Kotto, who's very grizzled looking.
Yeah.
Veronica Cartwright has an innocence to her, but you can tell she's not a
Not
spring chicken.
Yeah. And it works because they're working class industrial.
And John Hurt has like lines on his face. Like
Yeah.
he's just
Yeah.
looks good.
Yeah, they're in a flying oil refinery, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's again going back to the art of it all. Like that's part of what I love so much about this over like the Prometheus stuff is like it doesn't feel slick. Like this is a working ship.
This feels like something like oh, okay, I believe we could have this.
Yeah,
soon.
It's for work. It's a no frills industrial. That's
But
all it's
even
supposed to do.
like the padding of the hallways feels like veins, and the biomechanical Geiger stuff of it all
Yeah.
is just
Oh.
what makes it so fucking like. Again, Geiger to Alien is like Phil Tippett to Star Wars. Like I just don't think this
sure.
works
Completely.
without him.
I completely
like,
agree.
He is half of this to me.
Yeah, that design
is the
is-
Geiger stuff.
I'd say 20%.
Is the Geiger part of it?
The Geiger design is iconic, and the weird like sexual nature of his art, and the like weird sexual undertones of just all of the Alien. It always has that sort of weird sexual, kind of rapey sexual assault.
Absolutely. Well, and the fact that
Allegory
it's
there.
like, and the fact that it's the kind of like a blending of genders in one
Right.
thing, and the way that it does that in such a way that feels so like unnerving.
And like
Without having a dick pussy.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Without having a dick.
Yeah,
pussy.
we end up at straight up dick pussy. But we start with like much more vague. Or even like I always like when Ash rolls up the newspaper and is like shoving it in her
Yeah.
mouth. That was always weirdly sexual assaulty.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I think is very intentional because it's
Oh,
such
absolutely.
a weird thing, like image to show me and have it not be. But the Geiger of it all, like to your point, Lucas, like the Geiger of it all, I think those themes maybe were in the script, but I think they were brought out by just the weird sexual nature
And
of
maybe
his stuff.
that's what I like. That's like, and this is the perfect organism of a movie. This is so it's not really fair to compare, but like this versus Prometheus is like maybe that stuff's not in the script. It's just in all the other details, performance, the art direction, all that shit. But it's there, and it's kind of like a Rorschach. Like you look at it and you could take different things from it
Right.
at any given moment without
Right.
like being guided to take something.
and
Let's
actually,
say.
yeah, that's true.
I think it was actually part of the script to a degree because if I remember correctly, O'Bannon almost abandoned.
O'Bannon
almost abandoned.
Bannon's Abandoned is a good band.
Bannon's abandoned. Yeah.
I saw them at Warped Tour 2016.
The rest, he put so much focus into trying to finish the alien and figuring out like how that alien worked in order to inform the rest of the film. So if I remember correctly, he meets Giger, gets the shit, gets all his concept designs, and then finishes the script. So I think all that stuff is baked in, particularly the stuff like on LV-426,
Right.
And the aliens and the engineer ship and all that.
Right.
Space Jockey too, I believe. God.
Interesting. It's phenomenal.
I mean, we can talk. This has all of my favorite, minus a image or two here or there. This is all my favorite images from the series. I love how sneaky the alien is in this. The shot of it hanging in the chains, which you could fucking miss, even though it's in the foreground.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just hanging there, chilling.
Yes.
I mean, and that Harry Dean Stanton kill. Let's talk about every frame of painting. Every frame of this movie is perfection.
Truly, that whole scene.
The way that Harry Dean's like framed in his like lead up to his death, like all the art, the way the light bounces off everything, it's wet. Why is it raining
Why
in that
is it
chain
raining
room?
in this room?
it's cool.
Because it's cool.
By the
as
way,
hell.
every time the alien was hanging out in pipes or something like that in a shot, it got me every time.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Works
I
so
forgot
well.
every time. I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
There's a hero complex. There's an art gallery did a poster of
I've seen that.
the alien,
Yes.
like with its head and like the pipes at the end of the movie.
Yes.
I need to buy so bad because that's the shot, right?
It's so
Absolutely. That's so good.
That rocked my world. I think that made me who I am. Seeing that at 7 years old, that scene, just like that feeling, I was like, I need this every day of my life, just because it's out of fucking nowhere if you're not expecting it. Holy Jesus! I'm so jealous. My father told me he watched this on saw to see an early screening,
Can't imagine
sneak
this.
preview.
This is insane.
Did not know anything about the movie
Oh.
except it was called Alien, and he's like, that sounds fun, and went and saw this. Hadn't seen a poster, a trailer.
Wow.
He got to see it completely blind. Can you imagine?
I use
That
this as
feeling.
like this is probably the movie I wish I could go back and just experience.
I said that
Absolutely.
while I was watching. I was like, I would pay anything
Yeah.
to erase this movie from my mind and watch it again for the first
Yeah.
time. I would. Oh, that experience! I'm
Yeah.
so jealous of anyone who gets
I
to
know.
have that. Oh, it's so great.
Yeah, especially because it's just baked into the zeitgeist. Like before you even like have seen an alien film, you probably just know what Alien is.
You've seen a Xenomorph
Yeah,
for sure.
right,
Yeah,
right.
And this is the start of something.
yes.
R-rated science fiction horror did not exist at this like A studio level before this.
No, it was
you
all-
had
it was
B
all B
pictures.
shit. Yeah.
You had garbage stuff. You just had stuff that was great, but like you didn't. This
Not
is
like
the
a
beginning.
because just like the whole last 20 minutes is just a fucking freight train, and just her running and the shots of her running and the lighting, the yellow light,
anxiety.
and that alarm sound is just built into my brain. It's just like that.
I can hear that alarm right now.
yeah,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
This movie is in my.
I can hear.
it's-
I hear mothers
Yeah.
chirping
Warning.
in my head whenever
Warning,
I think about
Yeah,
it.
this is my Mount Rushmore.
From-
This is in my top 3. Oh,
From
God.
second one of this movie, it's built atmosphere of dread.
Yeah,
Like out of
Yes.
the gate,
Yeah.
it's dreadful. You know something's wrong.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't have to do or say anything, and you know something's wrong. And it just plays on that for so long. That being said, new viewers of this movie also have a huge problem with that, and I think that's just the way that new movie lovers maybe conditioned.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I think people who haven't seen this movie. I think if you've not seen this movie before, and you're like our age, that means you probably are like pretty casual moviegoer. I'm not gonna.
Or
I'm
you
not
just
gonna-
don't. Or you just don't care
Exactly, you don't care.
about horror.
Or if you don't like
sci-fi.
horror, if you don't
yeah.
like horror, yeah, sure.
Yeah, and so people who I've watched this movie with are like looking at their watches. and
Oh,
I'm
no
like,
shit.
Oh,
yeah.
Maddie does not like this movie.
Crazy.
It's slow. It's slow and boring. to her.
So I see. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of
I could-
hate that gets thrown at this movie.
I think you're.
for
I
the
think
pace.
absolutely. Well, because it's not because I. But I think that. I also think things change depending on the environment that you're watching it. Because years ago, Maddie and I were in Portland, and they were playing it on. What's up?
I hear the buzzing thing, but my phone's up there.
Oh,
So.
it was playing on. It was playing in a movie theater, and I had never seen it on a screen that big. The only biggest screen I'd seen it on was like a college, like, I don't know, 120-inch screen or something like that. This was playing in an actual movie theater. We went and saw it, and we left, and she was like, "Yeah, it's much better on a bigger screen." Right? She's like, "I can see why it's scarier." Since then, she's like, "This movie's boring, dude."
right.
She's like, "Nothing happens." She's like, "There's one alien. It doesn't run." She's like, she's like, it's very like, but to her point, like, I understand where she's coming from, right? Like, I don't agree,
Sure.
but like, I get that, right? Like,
No.
it's not. This is not an action-packed film.
No,
so
it's not.
there
Of
is
course
this is one of those films where at times I do often wonder, like, has this stood the test of time? Because there are enough people like the four of us that are like, no, every frame is a painting and it's perfect. And it launched so many things as a result of it, right? Like,
Right.
so many things don't exist without this film. Or is it, I mean, like, I don't know. I don't really have the rest of that thought. It's just, it fascinates me.
I think based on its technical prowess alone,
Yes.
like there are aberrations to pacing and modern pacing of a film. I think based on technical prowess, it's like a masterful case
Yes.
for cinema. Like,
yes.
I think you show it to 100 people and 80 of them are like, "That's a fucking great film."
I
Who
feel
haven't seen
like-
it before?
Yeah,
you know?
right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like it's probably at least 80, right? Like,
I think it is objectively a perfectly
Yeah,
made
without
movie.
same, big
Whether or not
same.
you like it,
Yeah, of course.
who cares? But like from a tech, it's a perfect organism
Yeah.
in every way.
Oh, I like the way you did that.
Yeah,
That was
He
cool.
did it earlier.
I didn't hear him do it.
Well,
Yeah.
also,
you could
I
have just
think-
taken credit for that.
I would never.
You would.
I think I say I want to
It's because I'm squeezing his liver.
Yeah.
in it.
back up the Jodorowsky Geiger aspect of this movie, more like the art style into it, is it being like 50% of why this movie works, is because Ridley Scott has not made a movie like it after.
That is correct. Well, he made
Not even close to this artful.
Prometheus is
Prometheus and
close.
and Blade
'cause it's
Runner.
Alien.
Oh, Blade Runner for
Blade Runner.
sure.
Blade
'Cause he
Runner's-
made that right
yeah.
after this.
And Blade Runner, like the
Blade Runner is yes.
as far as like the
Okay.
vistas go, just like the just
Yeah.
I mean that's that Blade Runner literally just is art. It's just art.
That's
art
like the
images.
reason
Yeah.
of that movie. But
Yeah.
Ridley is an interesting case in that
Yeah.
I don't think he has necessarily a style.
No,
Like you're not
No.
like that's really like you could he
No.
has movements.
He's
but
I put him in the Ron Howard bucket of directors.
I get it. He's in the multiple Venn diagrams, they share a sliver for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a respectful
Yeah.
thing because I think those are directors that look at scripts and do what the script says to do, versus putting their stink on it the way like a Tarantino would.
I don't know if I agree with that, but because I think that Ridley Scott definitely has a stink to his movies. That, and, like,
Stink, but he's not. That's why it's like he's not quite Ron Howard, but like he's not quite like he's not David Fincher, right?
Yeah.
He did Thelma and Louise.
He's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
he'll do something like that.
Legend.
Yes.
Huh.
Which like when you, but I think it's funny. The reason I say it is because like when you line these movies up, I go like, oh, that's right. It totally makes sense that he did Legend. Oh, that's right. It totally makes sense that he did. You know, like you just start putting them all together. And you're like, yeah, no, this like Napoleon, Gladiator, right? Like you just there's a
Yeah.
through line through all of them.
Yeah, well,
that
yeah.
feels very much like his style in a way.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, the man is
His
88 years
resume.
old.
Happy birthday, Ridley Scott.
Wait, we're demanding him to make more movies.
Yeah,
He's
continuing.
He's making
Yes, he has a-
Gladiator 2,
Gladiator
right?
2 is coming out this year.
Oh, can't wait.
yeah. I saw that like that actually has a trailer now.
Yeah.
Have you watched
Yeah,
it?
it looks pretty good.
I could
don't
not
know
be
what
less
to tell you.
interested.
Is it still?
I don't like Gladiator. I think it's a bad movie.
Well, that is wild.
That's
Again,
a
I
hard
haven't-
take.
I know.
I
It's a
haven't
wild
seen it in
take. We will
15
discuss
years.
that again on a future
They're
episode.
doing the water battle in the Coliseum.
It sounds great.
Which
It
is
looks
cool.
great.
On the new one?
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. I might like this one. I just don't really like
I just want to be like, is this isn't still like the weird thing where like they send him back? Somebody
This is
back
not
in
the
time?
Nick
Okay,
Cave
good.
No,
script.
I wish
Okay.
it was.
All right.
God, that sounded crazy.
Nick Cave did a Gladiator 2 script?
The amount of movies that you don't realize Nick Cave has written a treatment for or has written the script for is pretty fucking wild, dude.
Yes, it
Look
is.
it up.
Really?
It's wild. The amount of movies that Nick Cave has put his fingers in.
Name one. Ew, I don't like the way you said that.
Put his fingers in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Proposition being the most immediate one that comes to mind.
Oh,
I think
Proposition.
That's his whole. That's entirely his script.
Yeah.
I don't know that movie.
It's an Australian Western.
It's a great fucking
really
movie.
great.
I love
Sounds-
that fucking.
Another
movie.
Guy Pearce joint.
Sounds dumb as hell.
One thing,
Why? 'Cause
there's
it's
a
Australian.
No, because I knew it would bother you if I
yeah.
said that.
There's a shot in this movie that we get, and we never get this version of the alien ever again. And it's as he's about to move in and kill Lambert, Veronica Cartwright, and he's doing this weird, like slow mo
His weird
thing.
this- Yeah.
That is great, and we never see the alien move like that ever again.
No, I love this alien so much.
It's
It's part
the-
of why I love the movie so much.
Yeah.
This alien.
This one, but the performer in the suit
Fantastic.
is phenomenal.
And he's so big.
He's like a 7-foot dude, right?
He's so big and so scary. I love this alien more than any other alien.
yeah.
Did he just pass away within the past year?
Yeah, that
Did he?
sounds about right.
Does sound about right.
Oh,
I feel like,
R.I.P. that guy.
Yeah, Balaji Badejo.
Balaji Badejo.
Yeah, I think he did.
Oh, R.I.P.
Anyway,
Well,
He lived a good life. I hope.
We would like to dedicate
I
this
hope-
episode in his honor.
we would love to. And Ian Holm as Ash. And
Yep.
it's a surprise in the film as a reveal that he is an android. And that's something to remember that, I've seen this movie a million times at this point, and I always forget that that's a reveal.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And it's such a wild one because he starts just like spewing, he's like sweating the milk
Yeah.
and spewing the milk everywhere.
I remember the
Yeah.
first time going, what the fuck's happening?
Yeah, it's funny now that you say that. Like again, I don't remember the first time I watched this movie, but I remember getting to that scene for the first time, being like, "What the fuck is happening
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now?" And being
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
confused.
There are certain concepts in this movie that are way too high for a 7 or 8-year-old to grasp.
100%.
So you're only here absorbing Chestburster
Yeah.
for the first time because, my God, that
Yeah.
scene.
Oh, brilliant. beautiful. And dude, it still looks so fucking good.
it's so
I was,
gory.
Incredible.
I was really staring at it this time.
I actually thought it was interesting. James Cameron intentionally wanted to make sure that the movie that Aliens was less gory. Because he felt like the chestburster scene was just so insane. He's like, look, we saw in Alien exactly what it can do.
Yeah.
Maybe we dial it back in Aliens.
I firmly agree with no chestburster scene in Aliens because I think the desire for a chestburster scene holds a lot of other Alien movies back.
Yeah,
I think they shoehorn them in when they don't need to because they just want to do it.
Because they want
It's iconic and people.
Well, they want to make it. They want to make something that's crazier than the first one, which I would actually I would suggest that the only time that they have managed to remotely come close is the back one in Covenant.
You know what? That may be AVPR because it comes out of a child. You get a child chest burster.
That is true. Do you get the child chest burster?
I was going to say,
Dude,
these chest bursts,
Very
after
brutal.
Aliens, the chest bursts get gratuitous.
Yeah,
They get gratuitous, but
true.
like that one that comes out of that motherfucker's back in Covenant, like
neomorph.
it's pretty.
God,
it's
pretty
damn.
great.
It's pretty
Dude.
great.
It's
It's
really
pretty
great.
fucking great. Maybe we'll get some good ones in Romulus.
I mean, that one makes my
Dude, wow.
asshole hurt, bro.
When is-
Every time that I see it.
When does this episode air?
This episode airs July 26th, about 2 weeks before
Before
we get
Romulus. Boy, aren't
Romulus
you
is on the
excited?
15th.
What are the odds Amtech gets?
They will.
They
will.
The premiere of Longlegs. They
hinted
hinted
at it,
that
Heavily
he was
hinted.
like, "Come back." Christian was like, "No, but come back."
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to do one.
Yeah,
They'll do one.
They'll do one probably the week before it comes out. I
Please
bet.
be at the Egyptian. Please be at the
Please, God.
God
I
damn.
don't want to keep going
Yeah.
down there.
I will be watching Romulus in San Francisco
Oh, no shit.
at the big old IMAX that they have in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, lovely.
I have my
They have a
Burbank
real
tickets.
IMAX?
You do?
I think
Yeah.
it's
For
one
when?
of the.
This first Saturday it's open.
Actually, I don't know. Curtis is the IMAX in San Francisco like a true IMAX? I can't remember. I think it is.
Don't know, but it's not in the top 5 of largest. It might be 5th or something.
Is the Science Center one of the largest?
It is. Yes, it is.
Okay, cool.
I think it's.
But they don't
fourth
show
or fifth.
movies. They
don't
still just show science stuff.
Yes.
I forget which one is the largest.
The largest in America is Lincoln Center in New York.
Right.
The second is City Walk. The largest on the planet is in Sydney.
York is
in
just
Melbourne.
getting trash cans.
Sydney, yeah.
So, Alien approved?
Fucking Alien. That's
I mean, we could sit here for hours just literally.
Jonesy
you
the
wanna talk
cat.
about this? Yeah, right.
we
We
have
just
to
do this.
Jonesy
Yeah.
the cat rules.
God bless Jonesy
God
the
love
cat.
that cat for surviving. Thank
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. Yeah, Space Jockey rules. Love
Everything.
that shit.
I guess the only last thing that I would say back to your point about the all the contribution that the Giger's work does is that all the mystery that shows up throughout this movie that is never really touched on until Prometheus, right?
Yeah.
Which I know that you're a little soft or salty on the concept of like, don't tell me about the space jockey,
Yes.
leave it, right?
Correct.
And I think there is merit to that because like what is so cool about this movie is that scene where they walk into that giant fucking room and there's just a thing sitting there on a giant. You don't know what that is. Is it
No
a
idea.
telescope? Is it
Well,
a gun?
Yeah, exactly.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
I am happy that 30 something years later, 40 years
40.
later, we get that. I'm cool with that. The 40 years removed, but like, fuck, man, like I feel like there's still so much that's going on that you can wonder about.
Right.
Right. It just I love the fact that this movie makes the mind play with that.
It's the design of the xenomorph is brilliant because we're doing a movie that is set in the future, right? But the design of it evokes an ancientness of like this thing has been here the whole time, you know.
Interesting.
Like that's so the ancient nature of the build and it's kind of this like stone plus bio thing is terrifying.
That's
It's like-
interesting. I don't get the ancient nature of that of the xenomorph. I think that's fascinating.
yeah, I do.
talk more about it. That's fascinating.
Oh no, I just think, and then everything that's gone
I can see what you're saying,
along
though.
with the Geiger aesthetic is that it's this like constant twisting of organs plus stone and earthy material that I don't know. It's like stuff. It's stuff that's been here. It's almost eldritch. But he's said that I'm not part of that. Geiger is like, I don't do eldritch. I do my own thing. So it's like I don't know. I like that's what I think that design evokes is.
Fascinating.
I've been here the whole time while you think you're
Fascinating.
advancing. I've been here the whole time.
Yeah, and I've always felt the opposite about it. I felt very much like it was a new and actually, I guess I'd never even come to think of it. I don't think it's ever really like made me wonder about when it existed. It was more just because I was always just wrapped up in the bastardization of the human form and how sublime and weird that is, and just unnerving and uncanny. I don't think I'd ever really like thought about whether or not it would be ancient or not. That's really interesting. Mm-hmm. I'll take that with me to my next viewing.
Ooh, wonderful,
yeah.
which will be soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, I might watch it again tonight just for fun.
I want to watch it again already.
I watched it this morning. I'll watch it again.
Oh,
I get
I want
home.
to watch it again.
Alien approved.
No,
Yay!
Yes.
Beyond approved.
Absolutely.
One of the greatest.
Could not be more.
But not
Wow.
number one.
What a
What
marathon.
time? Oh, let's check in real quick. So,
yes.
Jess the Monsterator had Alien at number 1 and Aliens at number 2, but could be swapped in on any given day.
Yeah,
And
that's
think
what I
that-
say.
I think that covers the films on her behalf.
Wonderful.
Let's see if the Discord had any further.
Additions?
We just have Tristan's Predator rankings,
Yeah, which is
which is cool as well.
love
No
you.
one else chimed in. Neither the Liams,
No.
Massix?
Nope.
Drewy.
Nope.
Well, love you.
Do you want to
Tristan.
be? Do you want to be better and more loved than
Charles,
our
where are
existing
you?
patrons?
Charles, where are you? What's going on?
I know he doesn't want to give his alien rankings.
We expect you guys to be available at the drop of a pin.
Love you all. Thanks for being here.
Love you. And next time we're doing week 3 of
Oh my God!
With the Innocents.
Yes.
So watch that for our next
Yes,
episode. Our 101st episode.
Yes. Thank you for listening. That's why we have 100. Tell your friends, and maybe we'll do 100 more.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But only,
1,000 more.
only if a lot of you start listening.
This is fun, guys.
This is very
Yeah,
fun.
4 years. I would like to announce formally that tonight is my last day. You will all need to vacate the premises with your belongings. I will be taking my room back.
I have been at this job for 4 years. I have not been promoted, and my salary has not increased. So
It is
It's time to
increased.
move on.
I've received a total of $10, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got money?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
See you guys later.
Bye.